All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. Aztecs take on New Mexico tomorrow night, 7 p.m. tip-off, 6 p.m. pregame right here on San Diego Sports 760. It is a blackout, so if you're going to the game tomorrow night, wear all black. In baseball news, Rob Manfred announced today that he will be stepping down as the commissioner of baseball after the 2029 season. He will not apply for another term.
And the Brian Dutcher Show is tonight at 6 p.m. on San Diego Sports 760.
How do you know that I wasn't going to say that?
Oh, I know.
Now during
I just texted Brent, actually. I guarantee you won't say it.
Now during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs, desk chairs, computer chairs, even gaming chairs. In store only. Offer ends 3/2. See associates for details. Stop by Staples today and grab a seat.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim. We've got a good show lined up for you for the next 3 hours, including a pair of ticket giveaways for as big of a game as you could ask for at Viejas Arena tomorrow night. San Diego State and New Mexico. We have not just one pair of tickets to give away, we have two pairs of tickets to give away. And let's do this. One of those pairs will be given away this hour. So do not go anywhere. We have a pair of tickets to give away this hour. San Diego State, New Mexico. We'll talk more about it with Jeff Grammer, who does a marvelous job covering the Mountain West and New Mexico basketball with the Albuquerque Journal. He'll join us at 3:30. Kyle Glazer, a great baseball writer, formerly with Baseball America, will join us at 5 p.m. You just mentioned it, Jim, in the update. I mean, we could mention Valentine's Day.
What do you want to talk about?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, did Aaron have much to say about our 10-minute conversation on air at 5 p.m. when we were like going over Valentine's Day and your gifts for her and all that? Was that a topic of conversation last night?
Yeah, that was a topic. That was a big topic of conversation.
Was it all good?
It was great.
Okay, good.
It went great.
Okay. She was happy you got her stuff.
Yeah, and she ended up doing something for me too. So she mentioned, she goes, it's not about getting me something for Valentine's Day.
It's about the thought.
It's about acknowledging Valentine's Day.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, like, that
mind blown.
That gif of like Drake showing somebody at like an Apple store or something. He's like, oh, that was my reaction to when she said that. I was like, I get it now.
She's like whatever, Roman Reigns.
Right. So Valentine's Day, her birthday, your anniversary, these are things you probably should acknowledge.
Well, yeah, I know. Okay,
Rob Manfred, it was just in Jim's update. He is out, but not really. I mean, this is like, what's an example of this? When someone's like,
I'm retiring in 5 years.
Yeah, like the president in a second term will be out in 4 years. Well, yeah, that's kind of the rules. I mean, you can only be there for 8 years. So yeah, it's literally 5 years from today. He will be done in early 2029, which is 5 full seasons, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So I don't find it earth-shattering information. How old is Rob Manfred right now? Is he 60? He's not a pup.
Doesn't seem that old.
But Brent's going to look it up. I'd be surprised if he was younger than 59. I'm making that up.
I would say in his mid-50s.
Mid-50s.
You're surprised. He's 65.
Oh, just kidding.
So he'll be done at 70.
Time to go.
So it's
Bye-bye.
like, of course, he's not going to have another term.
Yeah.
The thing is, commissioners typically aren't regarded as like their tenures. These are the guys that get booed at the championship events. So typically, commissioners don't have the greatest rep. With all that being said, his reputation is worse than most commissioners. Now, Bud Selig didn't have a good reputation, and he was a longtime commissioner. I think Adam Silver has a pretty decent reputation with the NBA, but these guys get booed. But he probably should get booed for a lot of the decisions he's made publicly, the way this whole thing with Oakland is playing out publicly. But Rob Manfred out as commissioner in 5 years. And he's already been there for a number of years as well. I mean, how are we going to remember Rob Manfred as MLB commissioner? Just as bad, probably, right?
Bad. There's not one thing that I think he has done as his time as commissioner where you look at and say, that right there, that's really, like, at least.
What about speed of game? It's his big baby. Is it not?
I mean,
it's his big baby.
It's not as big as the addition of the wild card, like from Bud Selig.
True. Of course, he's gone further there.
True. Added another wild card. It's helped teams in baseball that in the past would have never made it to have runs to the World Series.
You could argue if it's good or bad because the postseason's been very interesting with the bye system and how it's played out.
But that's just like an expansion of something that was already there.
Yep.
I think adding the wild card like Bud Selig did was the biggest accomplishment of Bud Selig's time as commissioner. I might be wrong on that. Now, obviously, the steroid era is the giant stain on Bud Selig's career, even though I could argue the steroid era actually helped baseball more than hurt baseball.
Was he taking steroids? I forgot.
Who?
No, I'm kidding.
Tons of them. He was jacked.
Remember the All-Star game that ended in a tie?
Yeah, that's a joke.
In
Yeah, that was in Milwaukee.
That was with Selig.
And then he made the All-Star game count for
This
home
one
field
counts,
advantage.
but then
Like,
that
oh my
stops.
gosh,
I
that's
know.
so stupid.
But honestly, I think, okay, what do you think is more significant for the history of the game? The addition of the wild card, interleague play, also under Selig, or the pitch clock? I mean, the pitch clock's right up there in terms of changes with baseball.
Nope. To me,
The timeless game, adding a clock?
the number one thing in baseball that changed the game is the addition of the wild card. And
I would say interleague is way bigger in the history of baseball than the wild card. Way bigger.
Really?
Not even close. Not even close.
So adding an extra team to make the postseason isn't as big as playing the White
it's
Sox in the regular
massive.
season.
For 100 years, the Yankees wouldn't play the Phillies, and then all of a sudden they're playing each other. That was massive.
I think
They already-
okay,
They
that's
already
fine.
had the postseason,
That's cool. You can think that. I think the wild card's bigger.
but the wild card wasn't even. I mean, they'd already switched divisions, hadn't they? Because for a while it was just the championship series, and then they added the divisional round. That was before Selig, and then they added one additional wild card. All right, neither here nor there.
Yeah, you just look at the history of baseball. How many teams before the addition of the wild card were good enough to win a World Series but never even had the opportunity?
Probably a lot based on what we've seen over the last 2 decades.
I mean, they're just.
But couldn't you also argue that why are they given the chance? Back in the day, it was just pennant winners.
Well,
you won the American League, you went to the World Series.
It was either 93 or I think it was 93. Atlanta Braves won like 104 games. The San Francisco Giants won. San Francisco won 102.
Oh, is that, yeah.
And they didn't make the postseason.
I know.
So it's not. We're not talking. I'm not talking about a team that won 83 games.
Yeah, but have we gone to the opposite extreme? Because now teams with 83 wins can win a World Series.
Yeah, and maybe that is viewed by some people as not as good as just adding only one wild card. Like adding two, you're now kind of murking the waters here and adding more mediocrity than good teams.
Are we going to miss Rob Manfred?
No.
Did we miss Bud Selig?
No.
Do you care who the next commissioner is?
No.
The one thing he said today that was interesting is he would like to have expansion wrapped up by the time he's out. Not that there'll be new teams by 2029, and not that they'll even be awarded by then, but that the process is like vetted out. They want to go from 30 to 32. I think that's the next big change. You're going to make it NFL style, 8 divisions, 4 teams. I think that's the next big change coming to baseball. I don't know if I really want Rob Manfred in charge of it, but anyway, Rob Manfred is out in 5 years.
I think as long as the next commissioner doesn't come out in like his first 2 weeks and call the World Series trophy a piece of tin, then he's already done a better
Probably
job.
true.
Commissioners are kind of, honestly, I think a little overrated.
What is?
Commissioners. Like what?
Yeah,
do
because they just represent ownership.
Yeah.
It's such a good point.
They're
Yeah,
to
it's
me,
a great point.
They're just the face.
Yes.
But they're like a talking head.
You're right.
Same thing with like Roger Goodell. Is he really impacting and doing? It's the owners.
You're right.
A lot of it, they're just there to police, pretty much.
Yeah, it's the owners.
Goodell's there to hand down suspensions when guys get popped for various things.
Sure.
And
no, I agree with that. It is more, but it represents ownership. It's someone to yell at. You're right. It's a face to get mad at. All right, to Padres spring training. Again, Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal will get us ready for tomorrow. San Diego State, New Mexico here at Viejas. We have tickets to give away. We'll do that this hour. A pair of tickets for tomorrow night, 7 p.m. blackout at Viejas Arena. Dennis Lin, we talked about a little bit with Darren in the Fusion. I thought it was a really good article about where they are right now in terms of their needs, where they are with Ha-Seong Kim. He writes this. This is verbatim. Well, he writes about the Padres may not trade Ha-Seong Kim, but he writes this that's verbatim. A trade involving San Diego's prospect depth outside of its best young talents has become increasingly likely. So not the Salases and the Merrills, presumably, based on that, but to use some of this capital, this depth, this highly regarded farm system to go get an outfielder like someone in Boston or Milwaukee, to go get a rotation piece via trade, to go, I don't know, get a first baseman or a DH. That, according to Dennis Lin, is becoming increasingly likely.
That's what we've been saying. Well, I've been saying
screaming that it's likely.
How could it not be with the state of this team right now and how many holes they have on it? Like you AJ Preller can't sit around and expect to have these young guys go out there and compete and decide which one of them is going to be on the opening day roster.
Okay.
Because there's too many holes to do that. If there was just one singular one, maybe. But there's too many. Center field, left field, and almost an entire bench and DH.
And fourth and fifth spot in the rotation, arguably. Maybe there's pieces there. The Vasquez's, the Burritos.
You would definitely like an upgrade.
Yeah.
You would definitely prefer an upgrade, but you at least have arms ready to go. But yes, you'd prefer an upgrade. They have nobody in center and nobody in left. And they have no DH. Those are big issues. And I've been saying this. You have good job on Preller to accumulate a bunch of talent, infuse it back into your system, and create, you get rankings now and your top fives and your top tens and your this and that. And congratulations. I'm not saying to trade away Merrill or Salas or Snelling or Lesko or Thorpe or any of those guys, but you can't. You're telling me you can't use some other depth in your organization to go out and trade for a major league piece? You see it happen all the time. And that is what I think will happen. And as Dennis Lin said, it seems like it's increasingly likely going to happen.
Right.
Because they don't have any other choice here unless they want to go out and spend money on a stopgap, which I would be okay with if they did that, right? If they went out and they spent money and they got Tommy Pham as a stopgap, I'm cool with that. But the biggest question is, how much money do they have and how much money are they willing to spend?
Well, let me ask you this. What would you prefer? Stopgap positions, let prospects develop, but trust your own system? Or go trade pieces from your system for players that are elsewhere? But hasn't AJ Preller oft been criticized, sound like Shakespeare, for trading away players before they have a chance to contribute at the big league level? Like, if he's got this top five system, why not see it through? Why not spend the $5 million? I'm making it up on Pham. It's more than that. Why not go get a DH for 6.5? Why not go get a number 5 starter for 9? So you just spent 15 or 20, which they have potentially under the CBT, but you protected the future of your organization. You keep your top 10 prospects. You don't trade away 8, 10, and 12 for 2024. You keep prospect 8, 10, and 12 for 2024 and beyond. Like, you're trading away your future for now as opposed to stopgapping now for your future.
Well, you would also think if they happen to trade, this is just hypotheticals here.
Yeah.
Your 9th, 11th, and 15th ranked prospect. You're probably not trading for somebody for 1 year. You're probably trading for somebody who is under control, because we know Preller loves to do that.
But the biggest piece of the Juan Soto deal, now he had 1 year, was a 2-year piece in Michael King. Arguably the biggest piece in the deal. Arguably. We'll see about Drew Thorpe.
It's still multiple
years.
With
multiple. I'm with you. So, okay, you could get someone for multiple years, but I don't think you trade away these prospects. You're getting someone for more than, you're not getting 5 years of control, probably.
Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But at the same time, I don't think if and when he makes a trade, it's for a stopgap piece, like for a 1 year guy.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, would you prefer they just sign Tommy Pham, but keep your system intact?
Well, then,
as opposed to trading your system.
And that's the biggest question that they're going to have to answer is stopgap, keep everybody.
Yep.
Or trade away some prospect capital that you have, because you've accumulated a lot of it, for long-term pieces at the major league level.
They're both costly. Let me explain. One costs money. Do you have money to go get a number 5 starter for $10 million? The other way, trading away players can be extremely costly. If you lose deals, if those players come back to be impactful the other way. So I would probably prefer a combination of both. Make a measured trade to impact your team and make a astute signing or two for this year. Protect my system, know that I'm going to need it in 2024 and beyond. But to go down this path of, well, we've built a top 5 system again to trade away parts, and I'm with you. It's not about worst case scenario. They're not trading Ethan Salas. No. They're not trading Jackson.
So don't worry about it.
Stupid. They're not. I'm sure there's 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. They don't really have any desire to move. But beyond that, we don't know if their 8th best prospect is a future 6-year starter for the Padres because we just don't know. They haven't been fully developed.
And no one knows. That always happens in baseball.
Yep.
You protect your top prospects, and those are the guys that you are banking on becoming key pieces to your franchise.
Yep.
If you trade away, and Preller's done it a lot. We traded away our 14th ranked prospect, and then wherever he goes, he turns into like an all-star. It looks bad on Preller, but at the time of the trade, hey, he's the 14th ranked prospect in the Padres organization. It's not like they traded away Jackson Merrill and he all of a sudden becomes a stud somewhere else. Then you'd be saying, dude, you traded your second ranked prospect away. Like,
right.
What the hell did you expect to happen? You traded away your 15th ranked prospect. Do you expect that player to all of a sudden become just an all-star and a stud somewhere else? Maybe, but the chances of that happening for a 15th ranked prospect compared to a second ranked, probably in their mind, is like they might be willing to take.
I think I am. I think I would be okay with it. Are you okay with them making a trade involving two of their top 15 prospects, not the untouchables, for serviceable or beyond major league outfielder? Trade away two of your top 15 prospects. You get an outfielder back that has 3 years of control. It has pluses and minuses. Not a 900 OPS guy. Not the best defender in baseball. You're getting someone with some upside. Maybe there's some risk there as well, and you're trading away some pieces because you have to address the need, and they clearly have a need right now in their outfield.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think I am too.
And why I'm okay with it is because you need people to perform at the big league level now, and trades always hurt. They always do.
No, you're right.
You're never going to make a trade and be like, man, we feel good about giving away those pieces. We
Even
love
Soto. I mean, they gave up. Even we said, hey, you got Soto, that's great. But the piece you gave up, there was concern. Like, they gave up too much.
Always are supposed to hurt. That's why, these things happen. Like, I'm sure the Yankees love that they got Juan Soto, but we know they did not like giving up Michael King. They didn't. So even though they got the best player in the deal, future Hall of Famer, one of the best players in the game, he could be there for the next decade if they resign. Sure. But they're still like thinking to themselves, it always hurts. So when you trade away potentially your 9th and 15th ranked prospect for somebody that can help you right now at the big league level, I mean, it's gonna hurt. That's how trades work. And you need pieces to help now, not in 3 years.
But I'm with you. But then we have Mike Fahrenheit. But what about Adam Duvall? What about Tommy Pham? What about Michael A. Taylor? What about available free agents? Like, you had a $250-something million payroll. You've pared down to $150. You've shed so much salary. You're even potentially considering a player like Ha-Seong Kim. If that happens or not, it's unlikely. But you've pared all this down. Wasn't it to give yourself financial flexibility? The financial flexibility can protect your system. You could just go sign Michael Taylor. You could just go sign Tommy Pham. Why risk giving something up when a player is out there that probably provides the exact same without having to trade anything away because it costs more money?
Look, they're going to have to make a move. Would you agree on that?
100%.
Okay, so
a trade? I'm not 100% certain. I don't know if they have to make a trade. Can't they just go sign Adam Duvall and a 5th starter and just pony up?
Hey, look, everything that you hear and we hear, they
don't have the money.
They don't. It feels like the path to a better player to fill their needs is through a trade.
Probably true.
And if you're going the route of spending money, more likely than not, whoever you sign in free agency is going to be a stopgap.
Yes.
Which is still, it's not a bad thing if you did that. But, I mean, I think Preller would prefer to have a guy under control rather than spending
the money for 1 year.
Money for 1 year for a guy, even though he might like Tommy Pham a lot and want Tommy Pham on this team. He'd only be here for a year. And what if Tommy Pham doesn't perform? Well, then that's a waste of whatever money you spend on him.
Yeah.
And there's risk either way. It's about which route you're going to go and be comfortable with whatever risk that you're willing to take. I think because of the talent they've accumulated in their system, I think they can withstand to give up a top 15 prospect potentially for a player coming here and plug into their left field or center field or be their or whatever the case may be, because they can't sit around all spring and not do anything.
What do you guys think? 70470 started with team. Would you prefer to just go out, be a free agency and address these needs, or trade away some of their system to address some of their needs heading into 2024? Again, 70470 start the message. With the word team, this hour, we will give away 2 free tickets for tomorrow night at the A House Arena. It is a blackout. San Diego State and New Mexico, the rematch of the game won by the Lobos in Albuquerque earlier this year. Speaking of that game, Jeff Grammer, who covers the Lobos for the Albuquerque Journal, he will join us on the other side of a break. We'll get you ready for tomorrow night. You can hear it here on San Diego Sports 760 with Uncle Teddy on the call. Jeff Grammer on the other side. Aztec tickets will give away between now and 4 p.m. as well. We're just underway. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal, will join us to get us ready for San Diego State and New Mexico tomorrow at Viejas Arena. And we have tickets to give away coming up for that game as well. Stay with us.
All right, this update's brought to you by Staples Stores. We'll start with the Aztecs. Huge game tomorrow night at Viejas Arena. It's a blackout, so if you're going, wear all black. They'll take on New Mexico, 7 p.m. tip-off, 6 p.m. pregame. You can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. And Rob Manfred announced today that he will be stepping down as the commissioner of baseball after the 2029 season. Now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs, desk chairs, computer chairs, even gaming chairs in store only. Off Friends 3-2. See associates for details. Stop by Staples today and grab a seat.
Listening, we'll give them away. San Diego State, New Mexico. You can hear it tomorrow night right here on San Diego Sports 760. Uncle Teddy on the call. 7 p.m. smart pregame coverage at 6. We'll get underway, of course, with Jon and Jim at 3. Jeff Grammer does a phenomenal job covering both the University of New Mexico basketball program and the Mountain West in general. He's back with us. Again, San Diego State and New Mexico is tomorrow night, this critical showdown. And Jeff, I think locally, a lot of people are obviously familiar with what New Mexico has done against San Diego State. But when you think about the guards, you hear people talk about like Jalen House last year at Viejas. Everyone's aware of like a Jamal Mashburn as well. Donovan Den is a terrific player who I don't think gets the same acclaim maybe at times, maybe outside of Albuquerque, than like a House and a Mashburn Jr. So I want to start with Donovan Den because I saw the last play of the game Tuesday night and he had to be helped off the floor, I believe, because of an ankle. Do you have any update on the health of Donovan Den?
Just sprained ankle. They X-rayed it. It won't be anything long term. They're going with the day to day at this point. I would, if we're using the familiar injury terms, I would go more doubtful in my mind. But he's not ruled out. He could play tomorrow night. It is a big blow for the Lobos because I think he has become their best player. I think Jalen House is their most valuable player. Kind of as Jalen goes, the Lobos go. If he's playing with his controlled chaos, as controlled chaos as opposed to uncontrolled chaos, then the Lobos are pretty good. But Donovan Dent, I think, has become the best player, and part of the reason he's become the best player for them is frankly, Jamal Mashburn Jr. and Jalen House have let him get the ball in his hands, and really neither one of them ever made it official. Those are two guys that Manfred doesn't have the reputation that House has. And for all of Jalen House's antics on the court and all the I frequently post on social media. He is the most hated player in the Mountain West by 10 fan bases, just not the Lobo fan base. He does everything to draw eyes across, to draw hatred towards him, and he does things that just annoy people, get under their skin. He's a pest on defense, all those things. But what he's not is he's not a bad teammate. Works as hard as on the court and energy and effort and all that kind of stuff is never in question. And he really kind of stepped aside in a lot of ways to allow Donovan to become the point guard without the slightest bit of issue whatsoever. Because he's kind of one of those guys that, everyone had through the years, you guys, like everybody hates him on your team. Jalen House is the classic, everybody hates him on the team, and he's actually a pretty good teammate in a lot of ways, other than when he takes control of his own emotions and hurt the team, as he gets in foul trouble or he might get a technical, things like that. It's never a question of effort or him wanting his team to win and his teammates to do well.
Jeff, do you consider the Aztecs and New Mexico the two best teams in the Mountain West Conference?
I do. I think, and this is, this doesn't fit well with the tradition and the history of the Aztecs right now. I think their A game, though, New Mexico, they can't always find it. Part of that is because of the inconsistency in the guard play. But I think their best game when everybody's playing their absolute best, I think this New Mexico team is probably the best in the league. Now, part of being a championship team is being able to find that, or being able to win without that. And I don't know that the Lobos have found that. I think when they are all running at their best, though, the Lobos are the most talented, probably, team in the league. I just don't know that they have yet proven they can always, like I said, two things. Always find it, first of all, always find that A game. But also, I don't know if they have proven how good they can be when they don't find that. They lost that back-to-back games to Boise State and UNLV. It was sort of the Lobos of old. By only a small pass from junior Jalen House. Well, they missed those two guards. They combined 22 shots. They combined with 23 shots in the UNLV loss. That's what the past couple of years have been when they didn't have other talent shots against the world JP Toppin. Now that they have this, those are the two times that's really happened. Those two guards kept shooting despite the fact that the shots were falling. They feel really good about that this year. Twice in the past 3 games, they kind of let it get away from them. They just kept shooting, even though the shots were falling. That they can kind of overcome that. They can't overcome opportunity with those two guards when those two shooting guards basically shoot like crazy.
Jeff Grammer's with us. He covers the Lobos for the Albuquerque Journal. San Diego State, New Mexico tomorrow at 7 blackout. At Viejas, it should be a great atmosphere as all the games have been at Viejas this year. What do you think about the league, Jeff, in terms of how many of these teams are getting? There's obviously a path for as many as 6. I feel like it's probably narrow because teams win, teams are also losing. What do you think ultimately?
And I think it's a huge question. Fans should ask, it's just really answer, but with Malcolm, I'd rather have 4 teams in the tournament. Only 4. At this point, right? I think we're all, I'm speaking for you guys, but I think we all think at least 4, maybe 4, probably 5, possibly 6, sort of generic. Everyone's feeling, but I think we should, you have to ask yourself, rather 4 teams in and start separating themselves from the rest and be, how about 4 teams in the top 16 or 6 teams, but none of them are seated higher than that? That's sort of like where we're headed, right? I think San Diego State's the most comfortable right now. They're at a 5 in a lot of projections. I don't see them slipping below a 7 worse, but if everybody just splits from here on out, in whatever mathematical way that can happen, but they just split from here on out, and they do get 16, then you're looking at 2 kind of right in the range of the 10 teams, and maybe 11 teams that first day. And the Mountain West for so long, when San Diego got this league off the side and kind of got that monkey off their back with last year, national perception being what it was, the Mountain West get to the tournament and never win it. San Diego State did that last year. Well, the reality of that long stretch, they weren't winning any games. There were so many 8 and that's part of it. So it's a really good tournament to make a run in. That San Diego State is very well known, but it helps an awful lot to the top five. And right now, I just don't know that the Mountain West is being a whole lot of favorites in terms of seeding. But the discussion we're having is like 16. You'll take 16 at any time, but man, it would almost be nice if we get some of these teams separated a bit.
What's the biggest matchup for you tomorrow night in the game?
Um, the Locals aren't very deep inside. Nelly Junior Joseph is kind of hit and miss. I don't want to say hit and miss because he's actually really consistent in rebounding and scoring in terms of about 8 to 8 range. I think they expected more out of him, a little bit scoring wise, but like he can get out. Jason Thompson is a phenomenal freshman. He is a freshman. Thompson finally kind of got up to speed where I think people realize pretty darn good too. But he hasn't done it. I mean, Jason Thompson right now is the offensive block shot. He can be either number one or number two in rebound. And, he's a freshman. Nobody even knew his name before, so. So, those two guys can get in foul trouble. And if they do, the Lobos don't have a lot of options. They do have Mustafa and Dean coming off the bench. He's still, although he's been playing pretty actively, the numbers are great over the last 6 or 7 years. Still more of a four than a five. And if Nelly Junior Joseph gets in foul trouble, they're kind of having to play him five. So they're going to hurt inside, and they can get beat up pretty bad inside. Those guys can foul.
Jeff, before you go, again, San Diego State, New Mexico tomorrow night. We'll give you tickets between now and 4 p.m. I thought you had some really, really a good conversation with Jamal Mashburn Jr., who kind of admitted to the fact that like nobody thinks this happens with athletes, but like social media got because he had struggled and his own fan base. That's not again that happens. We see it in college athletics. We see it in professional athletics as well. Like social media got to Jamal Mashburn Jr. He admitted that to you publicly after that win. He had 2 shots, obviously, Tuesday night against Nevada. What can you say about that whole circumstance, the way that Jamal Mashburn Jr. has been treated on social media and the way he's dealing with it?
Yeah, it's crazy to me that the guy that kind of came into this rebuild project with he's led the team in scoring 2 years in a row. He is pretty much all you see. We get that right now, but it's out on him, right? So when he misses, he misses a lot of shots. There are fans here that were very openly and tagging him on social media and stuff like that. I'm like, come on, like the guy averaged 21 points a game in league play last year. Like, find a goal for that, something, right? And you don't follow your coach from Minnesota from New Mexico without some loyalty. But there were things that are really giving it to him. And, he uses the word, the coaching staff uses this word, but I don't know a better word to sort of describe what I think Sunday after the UNLV game he was going through it. It was basically a little bit depressed. He was just kind of depressed by it all. And essentially, it talked to his coaches about, look, man, I put in the work. Why is it not working? What's going on? And he told me after he took 2 good shots Tuesday night to game at Nevada, like, his word was vulnerable. I'm going to give you the vulnerable answer. And he's a very respectful guy. And it bothered me. It got me, but I just had to convince myself to trust my work. I know I put in the work, and I knew that would come through for me eventually. I had to kind of remind myself of that. And he is in the gym right. He does put in a big work and think about it. But he was doing how to kind of work really hard. And so he just said, I had to remind myself, trust the work. You know you put in the work. It'll come. He has been bothered by people with the issue with and that's part of the issue. But yeah, it's still nasty there. I wouldn't say nasty not as much of a word as they were just saying, why is he starting anymore? And that bothers me. He's never been in a position where people are questioning all matches junior starting. So they got so that's not credit to him for opening up after a couple of big shots, and he did it. He opened up, and so yeah, it bothered me. That's all.
Jeff, great stuff. Great reporting. We're looking forward to tomorrow night. Just your typical run-of-the-mill Mountain West game. Just San Diego State, New Mexico on a Friday night at Viejas. So just a standard game. Whatever happens, happens. We're kidding. It's a massive game. Everyone knows it. Everyone in San Diego is excited for it. The last team to beat the Aztecs at Viejas Arena all the way back a year ago. The New Mexico Lobos behind Jalen House a year ago. Jeff, we'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you for doing it.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right, Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal. Up next, do not go anywhere. We're giving away San Diego State tickets for tomorrow night. Kyle Glazer joins us from Baseball America, formerly from Baseball America, at 5 p.m. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, we are giving away Aztec tickets in 5 minutes. San Diego State and New Mexico tomorrow night at VA House Arena. Within the next 5 minutes, we're giving those away. Stay with us. All right, we're giving away Aztec tickets in a moment. We'll tell you when to call. It's for tomorrow night blackout at VA House Arena. We will tell you when to call. Now, remember, Kyle Glazer, formerly Baseball America, is joining us at 5 p.m.
Uh-huh.
Listen to this, what he tweeted out just a few minutes ago.
Okay.
Free agent spending.
Okay.
Okay, now we know that Otani got $700 million. It's an unbelievable amount of
Correct.
money. So you're thinking, well, free agent spending has got to be at least on par with the last couple of years. One guy got $700 million. Listen to this, Jim. The entire offseason, Otani is one of every $3 spent. So there's been 2.1 billion committed, 700 million to Otani. You say, well, 2.1 billion, that sounds like a lot of money on free agents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not. A year ago it was 3.7. There's been a 68% decrease in free agent spending between last year and this year. Now it's not over. Snell signing, Jordan Montgomery signing. But I mean, spending's way down. Is it going to impact the Snells and the Montgomerys? Are they going to settle for shorter terms, higher AAVs, but like less guaranteed years?
Yeah, that's an owner problem.
Isn't that weird?
That is 100% owners being as fickle as possible about their money, except if you're the Dodgers.
Right. Dodgers have spent, obviously.
Even the Yankees haven't spent.
Sure, they made that huge trade. You're right.
They made the trade on Soto, the $30 million for next year, but they didn't commit.
You're right.
And I think they signed Marcus Stroman to a lower level deal.
That's not that big of a deal. Yeah.
But they haven't signed a player to a long-term contract.
Does it have to do with these TV budgets
Probably
being tightened? Again, not in LA, not in New York. It's just like the instability of it all.
Yeah.
What's the future of this model look like?
Yeah, and that right there, the instability in TV markets and deals like that is a Rob Manfred thing, in my opinion. That is the thing that Rob Manfred has completely dropped the ball on.
Mm-hmm.
Completely. Is it all on Rob Manfred for Bally Sports going under and teams not having TV deals? No, it's not. I mean, it's on the Bally Sports for going bankrupt and having no idea how to run a company. But to have Rob Manfred not do really much of anything and make sure that teams are financially okay when it comes to TV rights, and you don't have a situation where the Dodgers are getting an $8 billion TV deal and the Padres have nothing. Like, that is one of the biggest problems in the sport right now. Is the just crazy disparity from one team having a TV deal worth $8 billion and another team having a TV deal worth literally nothing.
So the haves and the have-nots. Again, the NFL, we get it. Under control more than baseball. I don't guess it. NFL's like the biggest sport in the country and one of the biggest, leagues in the world, regardless of sport. But again, they share television revenue. It's a different sport. Understood. I get it. The Chiefs are on national TV, the Royals aren't, right? So it's a different sport. But when you think about this, 700 million of the 2.1 billion spent are on one free agent. 1/3 of all dollars spent all offseason on hundreds of dudes is on one player. And there's a 68% decrease in spending. You got a problem on your hands.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's that mean for next offseason with more of these RSNs going under and more of these TV, these smaller market teams having issues with their TV deals.
And Rob Manfred, under his time as commissioner, baseball has, I think, declined as far as popularity goes in a massive way. Baseball is a regional sport. It isn't even close to national. Not even close. People in San Diego could give two you-know-whats about what the Red Sox are doing.
Yeah, and that's a big franchise. I mean, imagine what they're thinking about the Pittsburgh Pirates.
It just nobody cares. Mm-hmm. Literally nobody cares. Now you could say that maybe the same thing for basketball, but
no, I don't think so. People talk about the Bucks if the Bucks have Dame and Giannis.
I know that's what I was just going to say. Is if you have a national televised game between the Bucks and the Nuggets, like I want to watch Giannis versus Jokic.
But if it was Rockies Brewers, the same markets, Rockies Brewers,
Sunday Night Baseball. Nobody cares.
And again, the NFL, we can play that game. You can go any market. Green Bay is tiny. Kansas City's not big. You put those two teams on a football field, how many million Americans are watching? Tens of millions.
Yeah, baseball in 1998 was the biggest. It felt like
it was huge,
almost bigger than
football.
Football. I mean, it wasn't, but it was. But you get my point, right? Now, that gap is 3 Grand Canyon size long. It's not even close to the same atmosphere or the same galaxy atmosphere.
That's a big gap. 3 Grand Canyons?
Dude.
Not just 2.
Dude, it does not. Nobody cares about what the Royals are doing if you're not in Kansas City.
I don't even know if they care there.
They don't. Well, yeah, because the Chiefs. But you get my point.
Yeah.
Rob Manfred has done a horrific job at expanding the game and making it more a national game instead of a regionalized game, which – in San Diego, it's fine. We talk Padres all the time, and everyone that listens wants to hear Padres, and people consume our Padres content. That's great, and I can care less about national. But
I agree.
From a whole entire sport standpoint, Rob Manfred has just dropped the ball time and time again. It starts with TV revenue, TV deals, and making your game appealing to everybody.
Caller 7, you're going tomorrow night to VA Arena, 877-767-4760. 2 free tickets, San Diego State, New Mexico. Wear black. It's a blackout. 877-767-4760. Caller 7, you're going. If you don't win right now, we have more tickets to give away between now and 6 p.m. The wrap is up next. Kyle Glazer, great baseball voice, at 5 p.m. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it's Schaefer. We've been talking about tomorrow night on the Mesa. Novo Brazil Brewing is a proud supporter of the Mesa Foundation Collective, which benefits San Diego State men's and women's basketball players. They've got a brand new co-branded product with the Mesa Foundation, the Aztecs Raspberry Kombucha, taste tested by your very own Aztecs, Lamont Butler, Jaden Ledee, Micah Parrish, and others. You got to pick it up, and you got to try it when you swing by their area locations. They've got spectacular sports bars right here in San Diego, much more than sports bars, by the way. at Novo Brazil Brewing. Whether you're going to the new spot in Mission Valley, IB is spectacular. The Otay Ranch location with the massive LED screens. The brand new spot in Mission Valley, which has been open for about a month, seats 350 people. It's indoor, outdoor. They've got a full bar menu. They have 60 taps of Novo Brazil beer. They have their kombucha we've been talking about. They have seltzers, but it's great for families because they've got food for everyone. Great food. I'm talking about sandwiches and salads, tacos, burgers, Brazilian-inspired entrees, empanadas, appetizers, much, much more. So this weekend, tomorrow night, you're looking to watch some college hoops, including that big one at Viejas Arena. Swing by their area locations, Otay Ranch, IB, Mission Valley. For more information, visit novobrew.com. That's novobrew.com.
This update's brought to you by Staples Stores, Aztecs, New Mexico. Big game tomorrow night at Viejas Arena. It's a blackout, so if you're going, wear all black. 7 p.m. tip-off. 6 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. Rob Manfred today announced that he'll be stepping down as the commissioner of baseball after the 2029 season. Tonight is the Brian Dutcher Coaches Show with John and Coach Dutch, starting at 6 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. Now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs, desk chairs, computer chairs, even gaming chairs in store. Only offer ends 3/2. See associates for details. Stop by Staples today and grab a seat.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. Between now and 6, we have another pair of Aztec tickets to give away. This hour, we're giving away tickets to see Chicago with Earth, Wind, and Fire. Kyle Glazer, great baseball voice, used to be with Baseball America. He will join us at 5 p.m. to talk some Padres heading into spring training games less than a week away. Or what's today?
Today's the 15th, John.
1 week from today.
Correct.
Against the Dodgers, that massive game. You got to split those spring training games. They start 2 games against the Dodgers.
Is it a must win?
One of them is. One of them is.
Are we talking about that one or what's more important?
I'd rather take Korea.
Yeah.
I would prefer losing 16-0 in the Cactus League. If it meant a 1-0 win March 20th.
Dude, can you imagine Friday we come in here, they lose 16-0. Joe Musgrove gives up like 7 earned runs.
Is Musgrove pitching?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's going to be like, who's starting that
Matt
game?
Waldron.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like Pedro Avila or something. I don't know.
By the way, we'll get to the wrap in a moment. We received word today, this morning, a quote-unquote trailer was put out for EA Sports College Football 25, coming back for the first time in over a decade.
This to me felt like more of a teaser trailer than a
They
trailer.
said it was a teaser.
Here's the thing. I don't know anything about trailers, but I watched this 90-second thing. Of the 90 seconds, like 8 seconds was like an animation of the game, and it was like the Alabama elephant mascot in like a 3D rendering. I didn't see like Caleb Williams throwing touchdown passes over the middle.
Here's how I viewed today's quote trailer for
not ready.
the college football EA Sports 25.
Mm-hmm.
This is like we have concrete announcement, like date. Like it will be out for next season, right?
Okay.
And that was to me one of the biggest things. Trailer, yes, I want to see gameplay. Yes, I want to see how it looks because I think Madden has just completely went downhill as far as gameplay and graphics go. So that's what I am most concerned about is I got to see how gameplay looks. I got to see if it looks anything like Madden does now, that's a problem. Because I think Madden has kind of fallen off a cliff. But, to me, I'm cool if I don't see anything right now. The biggest thing is there's an announcement, and it is going to be amazing.
All right,
to have a college football game back to play.
The whole reason for today's teaser trailer, and they referenced it in the trailer, was because of all the backlash of
say something, announce something.
Well, because everyone, there's that rumor that during the national title game that there was going to be some sort of announcement, then there was nothing,
right.
And social media went crazy, and then people thought that maybe during the Super Bowl there would be something, and there was nothing. So I think they just did it to shut up social media and be like, because social media is like, I'll believe it comes out when I see it, and
because there was no announcement at all. Like everybody was just speculating on when this game would be coming out or if this game ever would come out again. And now we know it's concrete. It's 100% coming out.
If they're going to do a full trailer in May, I would guess it's going to come out at the beginning of July.
Well, yeah,
right
it says here the official release date has not been announced, but it will likely be in July.
Well, because that's how they used to do it. Because Madden always comes out at the end of August. So they would usually do it 2 months before Madden. So you would buy that game and then hopefully you would buy Madden.
Do you know who was the last cover athlete of NCAA football? It was in 2014. Brent does know.
He played for Michigan.
Yes.
Yeah. And he was great.
Denard Robinson, yeah.
Who do you think will be the cover athlete in this one? Is it going to be Shedeur Sanders?
It depends if they take somebody
from last year,
or which would be kind of dumb because of NIL. You'd think they'd take somebody that actually is.
Yeah, it's not going to be Caleb
now.
Williams if he gets drafted.
No, you would think, like you said, it'd be a Shedeur Sanders or who's the next? Well, who's the Heisman favorite for next season already?
It's a good question.
You guys are both wrong on. You guys are both wrong. It's Nick Saban.
No.
Why not?
Because that's not that exciting to young people. I think Shedeur Sanders is way more exciting.
Exciting. Who cares? Nick Saban.
Isn't that the point of the cover athlete? Like, it's kind of like cool. Like, they put Fernando Tatis Jr. on it, not Mike Schill.
Then maybe you do like a special edition with Nick Saban.
And I don't think the coaches are in the game, just the players.
Oh, but if it's in the game, I thought it was in the game.
That's their old slogan, John.
Whatever. Nick Saban is your guess.
That'd be
I'll
cool.
say Shedeur Sanders.
Okay.
How could you go wrong there? Or Deion Sanders.
Maybe.
Like showing him as a player. It's going to be pretty cool. I don't even play games. I think it's pretty cool.
I got to get a PS5 now, which sucks.
Can you play it on like computers?
No.
Like PC?
So. Maybe eventually.
Oh, great. Just got to spend $900 on a PlayStation. What do you have, Brett?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the updated FanDuel odds for Heisman.
Yeah, give me a few.
Riley Leonard, Notre
Oh,
Dame.
put him on there. Riley Leonard.
Yeah, big Riley Leonard.
Duke quarterback from last year.
Noah Fatita, Arizona.
Put him on there.
There's nobody. Jackson Arnold from Oklahoma.
It's Shedeur Sanders.
That would be a good guess.
All right, let's get to it.
Will any Mountain West team receive a 4-seed or higher in the NCAA tournament?
Well, you would need to have either New Mexico or San Diego State run the table here from here on out.
Utah State?
Maybe Utah State as well.
But your point's valid.
You need to have one of those three teams to run the table all the way until the Mountain West Conference Championship, win the Mountain West Conference Championship, and then there's a shot at a 4-seed.
So win like 9 or 10 in a row from here, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And I also do think play like a San Diego State or New Mexico if it's Utah State in the championship game, the Mountain West Conference tournament. Same thing with San Diego State or New Mexico. Like, you got to face off against a good team at least one time in the tournament. Because if say Boise somehow, it's like San Diego State Boise again. And
you're saying that opponent's not going to be good. They need more from their opponent.
And I'm not saying Boise is a bad opponent.
No,
I'm just saying that it would be better if they had like a, New Mexico or a Utah State or something like that.
Man, this is a tough question. By the way, the answer is it's definitely possible. Is it going to happen? It's probably unlikely. It's definitely possible. To your point, if San Diego State runs the table, they're absolutely going to be a 4-seed, if not higher. But it's hard to run the table.
Right.
So is someone going to be a 4-seed? It's hard to see it. I definitely think it's possible. If San Diego State can close something like 8-1, 9-1, it's definitely on the table. But again, it's easier said than done. And the league is so good. They beat each other up. You're probably looking at maybe more like a 5-seed than a 4-seed. Next question.
Do you think Tiger makes the cut at Riviera this week?
Yeah, right now.
That's why he was even through 13 today, Jim.
I was actually going to on Underdog Fantasy play Tiger Woods because the higher or lower for him today was 71.
He shot a 72. Oh, which was only 1 over par.
Dude, I was 7 points away yesterday.
Oh yeah, you
from
played
hitting my
5 for 5 pick'em.
5 for 5 pick'em on Underdog Fantasy.
7 points away in an NBA game.
Promo code Jon Jim. Yes.
I know you sent it to me when you had 4 had already hit
because I used I did higher 3-pointers for Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
I did higher more than 8.5 points for Draymond Green. He scored 9. I did higher points for James Harden, which was I think 20.5. He scored 25.
Okay.
I did lower for points for Klay Thompson, which was 15.5. He scored 14. And I did higher for points for Jonathan Kuminga, which was 19.5. Scored 13 points.
Anyway, what is the question? Tiger Woods.
Oh yeah. What's he at 72 right now?
72. Is he gonna make the cut?
Well, he had back spasms today.
Oh, of course he did.
And it caused his shank on the 18th.
It did it though.
Where's he at right now?
Where is he right now?
Yeah.
It's not looking overly pretty. Yeah, he's tied for 51st.
What's the cut line?
It's only through 1 day, so can we say that?
How many players in this tournament? Like if he's 51st
Actually,
out
it
of
looks like
60.
there's only 70 guys. I don't know. You know me. I don't know.
Who leads the tournament right now?
Is there even a cut?
What's the
Riviera?
who's leading the tournament?
Someone's -7. Patrick Cantley.
Okay, he's +1. Tiger. Yeah, that's going to be a stretch. You need to have like at least a 200 or 300 day tomorrow.
Will he make a cut this season? I mean, how many events is he going to be in? 5?
I'll say he makes one.
I'm with you on that.
2.
I think he'll make a cut this year, hopefully. I don't think he'll make a cut here at
And if you don't
Riviera.
want Tiger Woods to be playing golf again, I don't know what to tell you, Brent.
I mean, it's not about that for me. Not about. It's just is he ever going to compete?
Maybe. Like
we'll find
maybe
out.
one time, but
I don't know. I wouldn't want Michael Jordan to keep trudging out there and going 5 for 25 every night and just going, oh, but I remember when he used to be good.
Right.
golf's different. Next question.
Next question.
Has the 3-point contest become bigger than the dunk contest?
You see what they're doing with the 3-point contest this year?
Shooting threes?
No, the special 3-point contest
What is it?
with Steph Curry and
Yeah, we told you this like a month ago, and you weren't a fan of it.
Well, I'm just saying, like that to me, they are hyping up that more than they are the dunk contest. I don't even know who's in the dunk contest this year. Dunk contest is like become
We can say that for 15 years.
randos that are in it,
Same
and
guys from last year.
it doesn't matter.
Mac
It's just
McClung
like
and-
just random people in the dunk contest. The 3-point contest to me has become more of a show because you actually get superstars in the 3-point contest. So yeah, I think 3-point contest is has gotten bigger than the dunk contest.
What if I told you both are irrelevant?
I would agree with you.
Yeah, that's how I feel. And I agree. I think by including, is it in Wayu, the former Oregon star? Is that who's shooting threes?
Lynette,
What's her name?
Man, I'm blanking on the name right now.
I am too. She's a brilliant shooter.
Yeah,
And she's shooting from the NBA line, not the WNBA line. And it's remarkably impressive. I mean, her stats are ridiculous, but I don't know. I mean, is that a reason for me to tune in? I'm sure it is for a lot of people. We watched it a lot 30 years ago.
Sabrina Ionesco.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know.
You see Steph hit a full court shot yesterday?
I didn't. I did not.
He does like one of those after his warm ups. He like throws it across the court, like legit full court shot.
It wasn't in a game.
No.
Okay.
It was in a tunnel. He was in the tunnel, threw the ball across the full court, and he swished it.
That's crazy.
I was like, oh, okay.
I think a lot of it is just how the game is played these days. You know, back when me and John were in high school, it was all about dunking on dudes, and that's all anybody cared about.
The 3 was like a novelty.
Yeah, but now everyone is all about, who can shoot the 3 from the farthest back, and it's all about 3-point shooting. So in that way, I think that it's surpassed the dunk contest because more people care about shooting now than they do about dunking. And the dunk contest has just become so horrible now to where you got to sit there and watch them just brick dunks for 2.5 minutes. And
you've seen all the dunks. There's not a dunk that you haven't seen. I feel like.
I mean, and it's just like 3-point shooting. If someone went perfect in the 3-point contest, I wouldn't be like, wow, they went perfect. Everyone can shoot a 3. Joel Embiid shoots 44% from beyond the arc. I'm making that up, but I mean, you got 7-footers that are 40% shooters. That never happened 15 years ago.
Everyone's skills.
It's amazing. Their skills are ridiculous. Next question.
How will you remember Rob Manfred's tenure as Major League Baseball commissioner?
The Dodgers is
right,
and it's just a piece of metal,
right? Yeah,
no, it's tin. It was a piece of tin.
Tin? Is it tin
Yeah,
or
I'm pretty
metal?
sure he
Metal.
said tin.
He said metal because tin would be like. I think he said metal. It's a piece of metal. Anyway,
I'm looking that up. I think so.
Yeah,
he said a piece of metal.
She's a piece of metal. It's just a blah. I mean, didn't really do anything to advance the game besides adding in rule changes that made the game faster, which great. I'm a proponent of that.
Right.
Adding another wild card, which now gives teams that 84 wins a chance to win a World Series. It's just blah. I mean, it's blah.
I mean, I think he's had some huge missteps, if we're being honest. Now, most commissioners probably do.
And the lockout. The lockout was on him as well.
Yeah, now, to his quote-unquote credit, they played 162 that year.
But it was the
COVID season was a disaster, if you recall how that all played out. To the point where, no, but the way it all played, even the postseason with the 16 teams getting into the postseason and the Arlington situation with the postseason.
I'm going to give him a pass on that just because, I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Well, the whole thing was, it's just like
everything
fake.
was fake because they had to make.
So you had that, you had, and this Oakland thing is certainly not going to go down as something.
The Oakland thing too. Yeah,
well perceived on Manfred either. The pitch clock, I think, ultimately will be looked upon positively. It is weird though that like your big mark on the game is like shortening the game. Like that's your big mark on the game is that you shorten the length of a baseball game.
In 20 years, nobody will remember Rob Manfred for any positive thing that he did in baseball.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Any casual fan, any diehard fan, there'll be like executives and maybe owners behind the scenes, like, oh, he did this, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But me and you, like 20 years from now, Rob Manfred will be a name that I'll be like, huh, yeah, that guy sucked.
I mean, we say the same thing about everyone, though, right? What do you say about Bud Selig? Oh, well, you said earlier he's Mr. Wildcard.
There was a lot of things that Bud Selig did. The Bud Selig era is steroids. Like,
Correct.
that's his biggest thing.
Right.
But like I said, at least you could say, if you're trying to find one positive thing, it's the addition of the wild card.
And the steroid era was actually the most popular era of baseball in the last 40 years.
Yeah, it just ended up being, really bad for the game.
Black eye. Yeah.
A huge black eye instead of, I kind of wish they just embraced it. But anyway.
I also think I'd say this with Manfred. I feel like he has definitely been more of a proponent of keeping the old guard in charge, if that makes sense. As in, he certainly didn't fight the efforts of Peter Seidler to be that small market team to break through and spend. He was more like, hey, I kind of agree with what Dick Monfort's saying. What's worked previously is what's going to work in the future. Like the Dodgers and the Yankees can spend, teams like the Rockies and the Padres can, and that's fine. Like it seems to me like he's kind of efforted small market owners not to spend, but to keep doing things the way they've done it previously. I don't see him out there on the record talking about Pittsburgh and Milwaukee and Baltimore needing to spend more.
No.
And I don't see him efforting what Peter Seidler tried to do over the last 3 years is good for the game.
He was one of the people that probably wish Peter Seidler never did that.
Right.
He probably wishes that they were more like the Colorado Rockies, right? They spend a little money here and there, but they're never going crazy. They're never going like out of their way to try to win. They're just kind of just there, right?
Yeah.
And you have created such a gap in baseball between the haves and the have-nots and the big market teams and the small market teams. The gaps are massive. And I'm not saying it's all Rob Manfred's fault, but when you're the commissioner and you kind of are that, bridge between the players and the owners, and you are on the owner side, and you're enabling these owners to not spend money and not do what it takes to win at the highest level, like Peter was trying to do, then yeah, you are just ruining the game.
I'm trying to think. Peter, last offseason, if you combine Machado's extension with the Bogarts deal and other moves, he would have been in the neighborhood of $700+ million, 280 on Bogarts, 350 on Machado. That's 6 something plus whatever else he did. 700 million? At least?
Yeah.
700+ million.
Did they and then they signed Musgrove at the All-Star break last year.
Okay,
a year prior to that.
Within like a calendar year, he's 700 million plus. We just told you earlier, Kyle Glazer did the math on it.
Yeah.
And all of baseball has spent $2 billion essentially this offseason. Peter Seidler last year spent 1/3 of that himself. So like, yeah, it's funny. It's almost like he was, what's the right word for it? Like, he was unique in his ways. Like there isn't any team following that philosophy other than big market teams. This whole offseason, $1.2 billion has been spent by the Dodgers, and less than $1 billion has been spent by everyone else, something like that. So it's like at least the Padres are trying, is my point. It doesn't feel like a lot of these teams. And by the way, the additional wild card doesn't make teams spend more. It just allows teams to hang around more without spending.
You're right.
That's what's happened.
You create a system where they're not trying to win 95 games. They're just trying to win 83.
85. Yeah.
And to win 83 games is much easier than winning 95 or 90.
Right.
Because you can suck for a month and still make the post. Like you can have a deemed bad year for most seasons in the past, but still make the postseason in the future now. And the only reason why they've added an extra wild card isn't to create more parity. It's for more money.
Right.
And in turn, you have now created a system where, like you said, yeah, teams aren't going to be saying, oh, we need to go spend a bunch of money because we are this close. They're like, how much money can we spend just enough so we can be like an 84 win team?
Yeah, and even just compete for a wild card spot. Like be in it with 2 weeks to play.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, on the other side, an NFL head coach last season, could that person be the next defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers? An NFL head coach from last season, could he be the next defensive coordinator of the Niners? It's not who you think. Plus, coming up later this hour, your chance to win Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire tickets. Plus, we have Aztec tickets to give away in the 5 o'clock hour. Stay with us. All right, hey guys, what's going on? It is Schaefer. We're getting you ready for a big weekend here locally, San Diego State, New Mexico. All of your game day needs, your tailgating needs, your grocery needs are available to you at Windmill Farms, the college area's natural grocer. I go there for lunch every single week. It's easy, it's convenient, it's affordable, it's healthy. You got to swing by their deli. Your 8th sandwich is free with a sandwich card. They've got a huge selection of sandwiches. They keep their prices incredibly low. They really pride themselves on that. They use fresh, high quality ingredients. In addition to that, whatever your grocery needs are, they've got you covered. They've got organic farm fresh produce and meats. They've got an amazing craft beer selection that you need to see. They're centrally located right by Montezuma Mesa. They are family owned. Trevor and his family, they've been in the grocery business for 20 plus years. You don't even have to live or work near Del Cerro because they're on Instacart, which means you can have your groceries delivered directly to your doorstep. They support San Diegans and San Diego-based businesses like Harris Ranch and Mr. G Salsa and more. They have weekly specials at windmillfarmsmarket.com, also on Instagram. Again, windmillfarmsmarket.com. So whatever you need for this weekend, during your work week, for your lunches, pick it up over at Windmill Farms. Shop local. Shop at Windmill Farms.
This update's brought to you by Staples Stores, Aztecs, New Mexico. Tomorrow night at Viejas Arena, it's a blackout. So if you're going, wear all black. 7 p.m. tip-off. 6 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. Baseball news today, Rob Manfred will be out as commissioner after the 2029 season. And tonight is the Brian Dutcher Coaches Show. Coach Dutch and John will be on with you from 6 to 7 right here on San Diego Sports 760. Now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs, desk chairs, computer chairs, even gaming chairs in store only. Offer ends 3/2. See associates for details. Stop by Staples today and grab a seat.
All right, Kyle Glazer used to be with Baseball America. Great voice, especially at the Padres. Will join us coming up at 5 p.m., 5 o'clock hour. We'll give away Aztec Lobos tickets. What do you got?
I was going to say it's great to have Kyle on because now we have more clarity on a Jackson Merrill in left field or center.
Yeah, definitely.
Jacob Marcy getting a real shot here. Graham Pauley potentially getting a shot in the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember last time we had him on, he was very adamant that if Jackson Merrill was going to be at the big league level in left field or center field, that he needs at least a full year in the minors of that position.
Well, it hasn't been a year yet. It's only been about 3 weeks since we had Kyle on the show, so he'll be back at 5 p.m. This is a Pro Football Talk this afternoon. Direct line, some around the league think Kyle Shanahan will eventually hire former Rams defensive coordinator and Chargers head coach Brandon Staley.
Oh, my God, no.
To replace fired defensive coordinator Steve Wilkes.
Okay. If that happens, I will lose my you-know-what. Brandon Staley sucks. He's awful. Horrible. I know he had a really good defense with
the Rams
when they won the Super Bowl, but his time with the Chargers was horrific, and his defense got worse every year. And that team actually had talent on the defense. If that happens,
is that a downgrade then for you?
That is a downgrade.
Now, they also write that, well, basically Staley is arguably the best available option unless he can somehow convince a Pete Carroll, Mike Vrabel, or Bill Belichick type to take the job or have interest in the job.
I do believe that Kyle Shanahan didn't fire Steve Wilkes without already having an idea of who he's going to hire.
Agreed.
Whether that be Brandon Staley or not. That would be really bad. That'd be a bad look because I think Steve Wilkes is a fine coordinator. He did fine. Some of the advanced stats looked good for the defense this year, but it regressed mightily as the season went on. In the last, I think, month of the season, going into the postseason, that defense was not good. It just wasn't. They ranked like 28th in run. You saw it in the postseason. They should have probably lost to both the Lions and the Packers.
Yeah, certainly could have.
And they gave up well over 130 yards rushing in all 3 games. Wasn't good. His schemes at times were not well. His timing of certain blitzes were horrible, especially in the Super Bowl.
Let me ask you this.
He wasn't a scapegoat.
So Staley had worked for McVay, right? They win a Super Bowl. He's the DC. He gets the Chargers job. The Rams lost Raheem Morris. Why isn't Brandon Staley getting the Rams job? He's already previously worked with McVay. My point is this. If McVay's not hiring Staley, why would Shanahan?
Have the Rams already hired a new defensive coordinator?
I don't know the answer to that, but I don't think it's going to be Staley.
Oh no, John.
But wouldn't you ask that question? Like,
well, you won a Super Bowl.
McVay had him in-house. They won a Super Bowl. He's now available. Wouldn't that be your best option if you're the Rams? He's in this. I mean,
stay in LA.
Yeah, you would think, but he hasn't been hired. Have they, Brent? Have the Rams hired a defensive coordinator?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yes, Chris Shula.
Oh, Chris Shula is the new DC,
grandson
not
of
Staley.
Legendary Don Shula.
Oh, perfect.
I mean, maybe Brandon Staley didn't want the job. Maybe he wasn't offered the job. I'm just throwing out that question.
Maybe there's a reason why they didn't hire him.
That's my point. And then if the Rams aren't going there, are the Niners now going there?
I mean, as a Niner fan, selfishly, I wanted low-key the Jets to fire Robert Saleh.
Gotcha. So there's your defensive
coordinator back.
Right.
Which I don't know why the Jets didn't.
They should. They still can. There's time.
But if you just have a stopgap for 1 year, Kyle, and then you're probably going to get you're probably going to get Robert Saleh back after next season. So you're good.
Hey, look at it this way. At least as a defensive coordinator, he can't go for it on 4th down all the time.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah. It's fine. The Niners aren't winning anything next year anyway, so it's okay.
By the way, what this postseason taught me about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets is you got no shot.
Yeah.
So now you're still on the Jets. You're a year older. You're off a major injury. I don't care if he was trying to come back in 6 weeks or whatever he was trying to do. You cannot convince me the Jets have any shot in the AFC. You cannot convince me of that.
Does anybody have a shot, though? If the Chiefs are going to retool and get better and re-sign Chris Jones and probably bring in a wide receiver, Spags isn't going anywhere. Andy Reid's not going anywhere.
Right.
Mahomes isn't going anywhere. Kelsey's not going anywhere. Their defense is really good.
I mean, they were in a good game with Baltimore, were they not? It's not like they blew the doors off Baltimore.
No, but the common denominator here is Patrick Mahomes. We have him and you don't.
Yeah, no, you're right.
If you're the Chiefs.
No, you're right.
And the whole, the biggest question going into the postseason for the Chiefs was, can they win on the road? Guess what? They
can.
did, and they can. So now, no matter what in the future, there's no questions about the Chiefs. Literally none.
Where do you put, now that Harbaugh's in the AFC, where do you put the Jets and Aaron Rodgers in the pecking order of AFC teams? Top 10? Because again, Chargers didn't make the postseason. There's 7 teams in. I mean, what are they? 7th, 8th, 9th with Rodgers?
Chiefs, Ravens, Bills.
Would you put the Chargers over the Jets? How could you not with Harbaugh, right?
Miami, when healthy.
Who else is in the Cleveland?
Houston. Quarterback. Houston over Cleveland.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
There's 6 teams right there.
So they don't have a shot.
No shot.
Yeah. And again, I would put the Chargers now with Harbaugh above 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers with the New York Jets.
Chargers might, like I said, when they hire Jim Harbaugh. If you hate the Chargers, it sucks because eventually they're going to win because that's what Harbaugh does everywhere he goes.
Yep.
It's also a good thing if you're a Charger hater to know that Patrick Mahomes is in their division.
True.
And he ain't going anywhere. So the path to a Super Bowl or just even winning the division will be a struggle forever how long Jim Harbaugh's there for.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is a good thing to feel if you truly hate that franchise.
So wait, remind me again. Did Kansas City, they still won the division? Did they win the division and play at home in the first round?
Yeah.
Okay, but then they went on the road for their next 2 games.
Yeah, they were the 3 seed.
Who'd they face in the first round?
The Dolphins.
Oh, that's right.
That wasn't even a close game.
Was a joke.
It was like a minus 50 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. I was just trying to.
They traveled to.
Yeah. Or they go before
Buffalo.
Baltimore. Yeah, they won there and then they won in Baltimore. Yeah.
And Josh Allen became a quarterback that literally dinked and dunked. Every single one of his throws was like before the line of scrimmage. It was crazy to see.
Yeah, but it goes back to your point, which is like, who's beating the Chiefs? And how could you have any faith in that? If they make the postseason, how would anyone have any faith that they're not going to win if they get to? And how are they not getting to the postseason?
The only way they don't win is if Kelsey's not playing or if Mahomes isn't playing. Like that's just, I feel like if you are beating the Chiefs by 3 points or even 7 points and Mahomes has the ball trailing late in the game, they're going to find a way to score and they're going to win. It's just how it is. The confidence level for them is through the freaking roof.
All right, Kyle Glazer.
I hate them. I hate them.
Kyle Glazer is going to join us at 5 p.m. We'll talk about the Padres' plans for 2024, including a possible youth movement. Is Kyle on board or not? Also, in the 5 o'clock hour, we have more giveaways for you. Call right now, in fact, if you want to play trivia, Trainwreck Radio. First 2 callers will have a chance to win a pair of tickets to Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire. This is at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, August 31st. First 2 callers to 877-767-4760 will be our contestants. We have 2 free tickets to see Chicago with Earth, Wind, and Fire. This is August 31st, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Great giveaway. You need to call right now. First 2 callers will be our contestants for trivia. 877-767-4760. Again, 877-767-4760. Call right now. We'll do that next. Stay with us. All right, the NBA season is heating up, and there's no easier way to get in on the action than with Underdog Fantasy and their Pick'em game. With the Pick'em game, you pick between 2 to 5 players, select higher or lower on player stats, something Jim was doing just last night. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money in one single night.
Yeah, I was so close to winning last night. It's legal in California. I love playing with my favorite players, especially Steph Curry. And if you like playing fantasy sports, you guys are going to love Underdog Fantasy. It's the best and easiest way to win.
What was the higher or lower on made threes for Steph Curry last night?
6.5.
And he hit, no, it was 5.5, wasn't it? 6.5. He hit 9.
Yeah, he blew past that.
He blew by it last night. Again, Jim likes using Warriors players. Choose whoever your favorite is or fade your favorite players. Go to their easy-to-use mobile app or to underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with promo code Jon and Jim. Write that down, JONANDJIM. That's promo code Jon and Jim. You're getting a deposit match up to $100. You're going to love their mobile app. Plus, they'll give you a special pick of higher than a half total point to use on your first pick'em entry.
That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Jon and Jim to get your first deposit of $10 or more matched, plus your special pick. Must be 18 years or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
All right, Kyle Glazer, Baseball America. Used to be with Baseball America. Still Kyle Glazer. He's going to join us coming up at 5
He
p.m.
didn't change.
Like you said, he was critical of the Padres' possible plan of using Merrill in the outfield before giving him the seasoning necessary in the
Yeah.
outfield.
Like very critical
Right.
to the point of he needs like an entire year in the minors.
Right. And then you hear, who was it? Like even Mike Farron yesterday was like, yeah, it's the outfield. And someone else told us that. Like, 4 or 5 games.
Kylie McDaniel.
Yeah.
was
Oh,
on
yeah.
with
Told
Darren. He's
Darren.
like,
That's right. Yeah, a couple games.
A couple games.
Be fine.
Okay. I mean, the outfield is probably, would you agree, one of the easier
Well, it's easier to go
positions
from infield to outfield than outfield to infield.
to learn. Yeah. You're not asking him to play shortstop when he's never played shortstop before.
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
You look at what Fernando Tatis Jr. did in the outfield, going from shortstop to right field.
Yeah, it's easy.
Well, he's also a generational type of athlete.
Right.
Jackson Merrill, I'm not saying I'm not saying he's a bad athlete, but yeah. We'll see.
No, exactly. We will see. You're right. I mean, it does sound like at least they're giving them opportunities to win these jobs right now. And now until they make some trade or they make some signing. But right now, it seems like they have an opportunity to win a job. You can't really win a job in February.
No.
Maybe in March. So we'll see. Anyway, Kyle's going to join us coming up at 5 p.m. Also, next hour, your chance to win tickets to tomorrow night's Blackout at Viejas Arena, San Diego State, New Mexico. It's going to be rocking inside Viejas Arena. The last team to beat the Aztecs at home, New Mexico, last year, a season ago, when the Aztecs, of course, made it all the way to a national championship game. Right now, let's play.
Three questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have RJ and Tony. RJ, you called in first, so you have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
Let's go with John.
All right, RJ and John.
All right, Tony, you get me, okay?
Okay.
All right. Brent, what is today's question of the day?
All right, guys, today's question. Can you name the 10 NL Cy Young Award winners since 2010? So we're looking for the 10 NL Cy Young Award winners since 2010.
Whose audio sounds like they're in our YouTube stream?
Probably us.
Is that RJ? Okay,
Turn
whatever.
your radio down.
Yeah, turn your radio down.
That's probably
Yeah,
it. Get
yeah,
off
yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Can you not be on speakerphone?
It would help us tremendously.
All right, how about that? Is that better?
Yeah, it sounds better.
There we go. Okay, so name the 10 NL Cy Young Award winners since 2010.
Tony's up first.
Tony, what's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you choose to use it.
Oh, okay. The 10 since 2010.
Yeah,
Cy
just
Young.
name one.
One.
I'm gonna go with Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton Kershaw.
Good guess.
Good guess on the list. RJ, you're up next. What is your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you choose to use it.
Let's go with Justin Verlander.
Justin Verlander on the list.
Justin Verlander.
Yeah.
On the list in the National League? No, because he never won it in the National League.
Oh, NL.
Yeah.
Okay, never
Oh, I
mind.
didn't hear that part. Too busy fussing with my phone. Oh, well.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
National League. He's still in this game. It's 1-0 Tony.
Tony, you're up next. What is your second guess? You have a lifeline if you choose to use it.
My second guess would be Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer on the list.
All right, RJ, we need a correct answer here.
RJ, what do you got, man? You can use your lifeline if you want to use it.
What's his name? Oh, the guy that we just got. They didn't get rid of him. He just left on us from the Padres. Oh,
Mhm.
lifeline. Let's go. I can't believe I forgot his name.
You
Holy
are,
crap.
I
Blake
think,
Snell.
referring
Never mind,
to.
Blake Snell.
Yeah, I was
Blake
going to say
Snell.
either Randy Jones or Blake Snell. I mean, Blake Snell.
Like Snell.
Yes.
Snell.
So does that count as a lifeline? Because he technically didn't ask.
No.
No. Okay.
He
No,
did
that was
himself.
me being an idiot.
Yeah. You still have your lifeline. Tony, final guess here. You could walk it off with a correct answer. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with Kim Lincecum.
Tim Lincecum.
2010?
No. Oh, he won, I think,
Dang it.
before 2010.
Yeah.
You went 2 before. Yeah.
Whoa.
RJ,
Okay.
you still have a lifeline intact, and you have to get this to send this to
Yeah.
overtime. What do you got?
Let's use the lifeline. 'cause
Okay, I'll give you someone that
I don't
people-
remember.
Hey,
Okay, hold on.
Oh,
Everyone relax. We're using the lifeline.
Jeez, everyone's talking over everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you someone that Padres fans are clamoring for right now, in fact. Trevor Bauer.
Really?
Yeah.
He was a
was in the American League.
No, in the National.
League. He was a Cy Young winner in the National League.
Do you take it?
Do you take it?
Sure, why not? I know better than what I
Boom.
think.
Yes,
On
he
the
was.
list.
He absolutely was.
with the Cleveland Guardians or Indians at the time. Whatever.
No, it was Cincinnati, right?
Sorry, Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the Reds.
Jeez.
They both start with C's. It's close.
Okay, what's our score here? Are we tied?
Yeah, we're tied
We're
2-2, and
Oh,
now
wow.
we're going into overtime.
Wow.
All right, Brent. Rules and question.
All right. Now, this is how overtime works. Now, listen closely because people haven't been listening in the last couple overtimes. The way overtime is going to work is I'm going to ask a question. When I'm done asking the question, don't yell out the answer. You're going to yell out the name of your partner today. So you're going to yell out Jon or Jim. Whoever yells out the name of their partner today, not just anybody's partner, their partner is going to win the game by getting the question right, or you're going to lose the game by getting the question wrong. Do you guys got it?
Got it.
So RJ say Jon, Tony say Jim as your buzzer if you know the correct
Yes.
answer.
Don't both of you scream out
Yeah.
Jim at the same time.
Right.
Okay. Today's overtime question. In what city do the Padres play their home spring training games?
John,
I heard
All
Jon.
right, RJ, what do you got?
home spring training is in Peoria, Arizona.
That is correct. Peoria for the win. RJ, you've got the tickets to see Chicago in Earth, Wind, and Fire. What a train wreck it was. Train wreck radio today.
Yeah.
It was
How
a
come
bit
it
of a
wasn't that
train wreck.
bad? They both didn't yell out Jon at the same time.
True. It's
so,
just we had AL winners, we had NL winners, we had speakerphones, we had a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Who else is on the list? 2010. We saw Kershaw, Bauer, Snell. Who else? Scherzer.
let's see. You got Snell, Sandy Alcantara,
Oh yeah.
Corbin Burns,
Oh, yeah.
Bauer, DeGrom back-to-back years, Scherzer back-to-back, Jake Arrieta, Kershaw.
Yeah.
Kershaw
Yep.
back-to-back years, R.A. Dickey, then Kershaw again,
Wow.
and then the late Roy Halladay in 2010. Lincecum won, but is 09-08, so he was
Yeah.
off by a year.
Wow. Roy Halladay with the Phillies in 2010. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. All right. There's your list.
All right.
And again, congratulations, RJ. You have won a pair of tickets to see Chicago with Earth, Wind, and Fire. This is at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, August 31st. Kyle Glazer will join us on the other side. Great baseball voice. Aztec tickets for tomorrow night. We've got a free pair we're giving away in the 5 o'clock hour as well. Do not go anywhere. It's Jon and Jim. All right, guys, lower mortgage rates are here. Smart homeowners are wiping out all their credit card debt with help from our friends at Loan Pronto. Hey, guys, it's Schaefer. Right now, Loan Pronto has a cash-out refinance rate of just 5.49%. It's a huge drop. So you can get refinanced now, get cash out of your home's equity to wipe out all those credit cards and other high-interest loans. You can save hundreds every month with lower payments, or if you still have that mortgage rate in the threes, you can use Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit. Just get the cash you need and leave your primary mortgage intact. Loan Pronto can get you $50,000, $100,000, even $200,000 in a matter of days. The bottom line is this: Loan Pronto, they've got several options to help you erase debt and take control of your finances. If you call today, you can even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. Call Loan Pronto right now. Here is the number: 619-207-4336. Again, write this down: 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. That's 619-207-4336. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, 5.49% has 6.39% APR, subject to lender approval.
This update's brought to you by Staples Stores. Aztecs take on New Mexico tomorrow night at Viejas Arena. It's a big one. It's also a blackout. So if you're going, wear all black. 7 p.m. tip-off. 6 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. Baseball news of the day. Rob Manfred will be out as commissioner of baseball after the 2029 season. And tonight, 6 p.m., the Brian Dutcher Coaches Show with Coach Dutch and John beginning at 6 till 7 right here on San Diego Sports 760. Now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs, desk chairs, computer chairs, even gaming chairs in store only. Offer ends 3/2. See associates for details. Stop by Staples today and grab a seat.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour, Jon and Jim. We will give away Aztec tickets for tomorrow night at Viejas Arena this hour. Be listening. San Diego State, New Mexico, the blackout. Again, free tickets. We have a pair of tickets we'll give away this hour. We'll let you know when to call. Obviously, Padres is underway, their first spring training. 20th. It is great to connect with Kyle Glazer, previously Baseball America, great voice on all things major and minor league baseball. Back with us here on Jon and Jim in San Diego. Kyle, we appreciate it. You've seen all the reports over the last couple of days as AJ Preller and Mike Schild, the media, about the possibility, at least, of a youth movement. The idea that Jackson Merrill and Jacob Marcy both may get opportunities to win jobs this spring. I know we've had you on to talk about this previously. What is your reaction to the possibility that a Jackson Merrill, for example, could earn a job in the outfield out of spring training?
It certainly would be very, very aggressive. Now, that said, we've seen the Padres under A.J. Preller be an aggressive organization in terms of promotions, moving guys up to the major leagues. And we've also seen them not have much concern about guys switching positions. Now, there's a debate whether or not they've been correct in those assessments. I would argue they've been incorrect more often than not and underestimated the difficulty of switching positions. But look, they're going to give him a chance to win a job. If he goes out and performs and wins it, that's a testament to him. But there is a very real discussion to be had. Is he really going to be ready to succeed against major leaguers day in and day out after really very minimal time above A-ball?
So what do you think the better option would be, Kyle, to get a potential stopgap player like a Tommy Pham, so to say, to put in the outfield so you can give Jackson Merrill the adequate amount of time to either be comfortable in the outfield or be comfortable with major league pitching? Or do you think maybe a trade would be something that would be best served for the team to do? Or is it just kind of like, hey, well, if they're going to already put Jackson Merrill out there in the left field, might as well just do it?
The optimal thing to do would be to bring in a veteran, whether it's free agency or trade, let him start on opening day in the outfield, and let Jackson Merrill go down, whether it's AA or AAA, and learn to play the outfield in the minor leagues where the errors are not going to be as magnified, while also playing the best higher level pitching. That will be what's best for the Padres, both short term and long term, as well as Jackson Merrill's long term outlook.
Kyle Glazer with us right now, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. How do you see the needs in terms of outfield needs, maybe back end rotation needs that they could add to their bench? They could use a DH. Like, what's the biggest priority that AJ Preller still has to address?
It's all about the lineup. Finding two outfielders some profile, he could theoretically play a little bit left, but realistically, they need to fill out this lineup. Pitching staff, there's a lot of unproven guys behind you, Darvish and Joe Musgrove, but at least they are physically bodies, guys who have shown some flashes in the major leagues, and you can maybe piece it together for a little bit. The bullpen, you don't love the lack of true proven back end options, but you have bodies again, guys who potentially step into the role. They don't have the bodies in the lineup right now to really consistently field a lineup you feel good about 1 through 9. And so they need to go attack that outfield. I would still argue they need a real first baseman. Jake Cronenworth is not going to hit it up for that position, as well as DH. There's a lot of lineup holes that need to be filled. That's the biggest need first and foremost.
What do you feel about their bullpen? Do you feel their bullpen could be a strength of this team this year with the arms that they brought in?
I think strength is probably threat.
Okay.
I think it has a chance to be okay, but you're counting on a lot of things going right. You're counting on Robert Suarez acclimating to the closer's role. You're counting on Musa Go, Yuki Matsui coming over and not having any hiccups as they adjust the level of competition. You're banking on Stephen Moore staying healthy, which he's had trouble doing throughout his career. So there's a lot of ifs, but you can at least see the potential scenario where this bullpen is, again, I wouldn't call it a strength, but you can at least see it not being a weakness.
So then what would you consider the strength of this team to be right now?
The star power at the top of the lineup. But if you look around, there's not really a singular unit where you can say this is the strength of this team. It's more a tier of player they have. There's a lot of top end stars on this team. You have Fernando Tatis, you have Manny Machado, you have Xander Bogaerts, you have Yu Darvish, you have Joe Musgrove, but the back half of the lineup, the back end of the rotation, there are question marks. So it's more about the strength is the stars as opposed to any individual unit. Every unit right now has question marks.
Kyle, you posted on social media earlier today about spending being down. I mean, it's significantly down, 40+% decrease between last year and this year. You look at the allocated dollars this year, and I mean, a lot of it is just one or two transactions by the LA Dodgers. How do you explain the significant decrease between last year and this year in free agent spending?
Well, first and foremost, this is a weaker free agent class than years past. No two free agency classes are completely alike, but at the same time, last year more than $3.6 billion was spent. Right now, if pitchers and catchers reporting, we're only at about $2.1 billion. And as you mentioned, $1 billion of that alone is Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers. So some of it is it's a weaker class. And look, that number will increase as these high-end free agents start to sign, but it's still going to come up short of last year's, probably by a significant amount. And I think it was more the point of the tweet was to reflect teams are tightening their belts a little bit. They're not spending as freely as they did in previous years. And, maybe it's because they saw a lot of the previous free agent contracts on the high end go bust. You have a lot of uncertainty with revenues, with a lot of local TV deals up in the air. But there are a number of factors, but I think the overall point was just that we are seeing teams being less willing to commit large-scale dollars to free agents. The Dodgers accepted this offseason.
Does some of it also have to do with the fact that when you add in additional postseason spots, you don't really have to fully go for it, right? The previous iteration of getting to the postseason being a 90-plus win team doesn't really exist. You could win 84 games in the series in Major League Baseball in 2022. Is some of that playing a role in, like, you just got to be good, but you don't have to be great?
There's some of that, and that was the biggest concern about expanding the postseason. I had written about this a few different times, what a 17 postseason each league would look like, or even an 18 postseason each league, and you sort of are disincentivizing owners from going and adding star-level talent that can take you from 85 wins to 90 wins, because it used to be 85 wins wasn't enough to get into the postseason, but 90 probably did. Now with 85 being enough, you figure, let's get in and see what happens. So there's a little bit of that too. But I do think it's fair to say that in other off seasons, we would have seen a great plan already. We probably would have seen a Cody Bellinger already. The fact that it's taking this long is a reflection of market conditions.
What's your outlook and view on Ha-Seong Kim? Do you view him as one of the top second basemen / shortstops in baseball, or do you think that he still needs to prove that he can have a good full season like he did last year, and last year wasn't just a flash in the pan?
Yeah, I think he can be a very good player when you consider what he does defensively. He's fantastic, really everywhere you put him. And he's good enough offensively. Is he a superstar offensively? Probably not. But if you talk about a guy who can hit 260 with 15 to 20 homers, steal some bags, and play great defense in the middle infield for you, that's a really good player. And that's what he's always projected to be. And we're finally starting to see it kind of come to fruition. Again, there was always going to be an adjustment period coming over from South Korea. I wrote about that not extensively. And it's not a surprise that, year 3, we started to see him really blossom. Really could say the back half of year 2 is where really when it started. I think we're going to see, he's going to be sort of what we saw last year again, 260, 15, 20 homers, steal some bags, great defense, play with energy, a very good player to have. even though I wouldn't necessarily classify him as one of the best middle infielders in baseball.
So is that a $20 million type player to you or no? Like per year?
You know, I would hesitate to go that high. I think I look for 5 year, $75 million range for that, which comes out to about $15 million a year. That said, we have seen teams certainly spend more money for lesser players in recent years. So it wouldn't shock me if he got to call it 5 years, $100 million, especially with how valued his defense is in the middle infield.
Kyle plays for Baseball America with us. You mentioned Blake Snell a moment ago. We know it's been this slow offseason for even top flight free agents like a Snell, like a Montgomery, like a Cody Bellinger. Do you still think he gets what he quote unquote wants or gets the wrong deal? Or will he get a shorter deal with higher AAV?
It's going to come down to what he wants to do. There have been deals out there for him in that 6 years, $160+ million range. He is said he wants a year, and he would like to go over the $200 million range. And given the season he had last year, I think certainly see his feeling that he deserves that. It's going to come down to him. Size that sticks, 160, or if a team will get to 180 for him. If that works for him, he can take it. If he decides it's not and he wants to go shorter AAV, a shorter deal with larger AAV, those offers will be there too. It's really just going to come down to what he wants, what he prioritizes individually.
Kyle, before you go, Rob Manfred announcing today he won't pursue another term. Now he's 65 years of age. He'll still be there for another 4 or 5 years. He could be 70 by the time he's no longer commissioner of Major League Baseball. How do you look at this tenure, his legacy?
Well, there's still a few years remaining, so we need to see what happens yet. I think on the positive side, look at the rule changes have been a huge success for Major League Baseball. I think that as the RSN model declines and more fans who were previously blacked out of watching their team's local games now have access, that will certainly be positive as well. Be credited for helping create that environment where fans are no longer blacked out from local markets. On the downside, handling of the time stealing scandal, general dismissiveness about the value of winning a championship trophy is something that will never really go away. And he's always been very condescending to players, fans, media on a number of levels. So I think if he was to retire today, his legacy would be, he's done some good things to help grow the game, but as an individual, he has not represented baseball particularly well. Again, there's still 5 years ahead of what happens there.
Great perspective and insight for baseball fans, for Padres fans right here in San Diego. Kyle, we always appreciate it. We hope to do it again soon, and thank you for taking time for us.
My pleasure. Anytime, guys.
All right, Kyle Glazer, Baseball America, talking about Jackson Merrill. I think the first words out of his mouth were, "It's very, very aggressive." And it didn't say, negligent or foolish, or you can't even consider it, but he said it's very, very aggressive, and the best course of action is filling it with a veteran.
It's a very aggressive. I would throw in the word risky too.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it could pay off in a huge way. Sometimes you got to take some big swings in order to hit some big time, home runs.
Mm-hmm.
And this potentially could be one of them. You could view it as it's AJ Preller and the Padres taking a big swing here on a prospect that is highly ranked in the organization. Maybe not fully ready yet, but they're banking on him kind of learning on the fly and maybe adapting better than others think he will adapt to a position change.
Right.
The downside is if it fails, it could be very detrimental.
Yeah, you're sending a player back, you're sending a team back. You don't look good as a general manager. If it doesn't work, it's not just a reflection on Merrill. I think it's more of a reflection on the club, the organization, than it is on Merrill. Because you can always say, well, Merrill's a 20-year-old, and that's a real big risk to take on a 20-year-old. Why is he struggling? Is it because he was rushed? Is it because of AJ Preller's decision-making that he's struggling? Not because he's not a good player.
And we've talked about it. The fact that he has had so many top prospects not hit with the Padres.
Right.
At some point, those top prospects, you got to have them hit. You have to have your number 2 overall ranked prospect in your
Mhm.
system hit with
Right.
you. And if Jackson Merrill, who is ranked second in their system behind Ethan Salas, does not hit, and I'm not saying he has to be an all-star, I'm not saying he has to be an MVP candidate or, whatever the case may be. By hitting, I mean being a guy that you trust in the outfield or shortstop or wherever you're going to play him, and plays every day, mostly, right? If Jackson Merrill next year plays 130 games with the Padres, I think that would be deemed a success because you're not playing that many games unless you're actually performing.
Yeah, well, you not hit 139
Yeah,
in your rookie season. 5 plate
and
appearances.
130 games is a lot. It's a lot, but like you said, 130 games equal 500 plate appearances.
30 times 4 is more.
You get 500 plate appearances. We talked about on this show, Jon Jim. Like, you're probably doing something that they like to keep giving you that
Manfred today, by the way, in announcing his pending retirement in 5 years when he met with the media, had the following things to say. Okay, he hopes to have a process in place for expansion by the time he leaves office from 30 to 32 teams. He preached patience on the new uniforms. Have we talked about this on the air?
Dude, we have not.
The new uniforms are an absolute disaster right now for Major League Baseball. There's all kinds of issues with these Nike uniforms in place, at least in spring training. The quality of the uniform, the type of material used, the fonts, the size of the font, everything has changed.
The best description I can say of the uniforms is they look just like a DH Gate uniform. And if you know what a DH Gate uniform is,
I got you. The watered down, fake.
they're like $20 from
Yeah.
overseas. And you have one, I would think, right?
I have a couple.
You have a couple.
Yeah.
And they look horrific. That's why the Padres, and I was kind of wondering this the other day.
It's fine if you're like a fan.
I
You don't want to spend $500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize why they were doing this the other day at the team store, but now I know why, because they're ushering in brand new jerseys.
Yeah.
They had a sale at the Padres team store. Everything was 50% off.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like replicas and authentics out there. Now they were older players of like, Juan Soto and Blake Snell. And it wasn't like, hey, we have a bunch of Fernando Tatis Jr. jerseys at half off.
Right.
They needed to get rid of all these jerseys.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because they're replacing them with the new ones that are coming in. And all I've seen is the new ones compared to the old ones. And they look like, I almost cussed. They look like crap.
The players have been very critical.
They look horrible.
There's been a lot of criticism. So that's something to keep an eye on. He also said this today. Actually, we could have played the audio, but we don't have it right now. He said the owners pushed for a free agent signing period, and that was neglected by the Players Association. He said the owners would prefer free agency to exist in December, but the Players Union, the Players Association, didn't prefer that. It's something he said they will push for in the next CBA in 2026. So the players neglected or pushed off the owner's desires to have a 30-day window to sign free agents.
Is there a more powerful entity in union
than the Players Association?
Than the Players Association of
very
baseball?
Strong. No, it's very strong.
I mean,
That's why they're the only sport that has no salary cap.
Yeah.
Other than the umpires, because they don't get
True too.
held to any standard or accountability whatsoever.
Right.
But nothing is more powerful than the Major League Baseball Players Association.
Very
which
powerful.
Is crazy.
He also said that he's confident on the A's move to Vegas.
Okay.
Okay. Now they still need a home in 25, 26, and 27.
Yeah. Other than that, it's fine.
He's confident on a move to Vegas for 28. He also said, quote unquote, that Major League Baseball will support teams in the Bally Sports Diamond fallout. Whatever that means. It's significant right now for the Padres. Remember, $60 million in TV revenue a year ago. No guaranteed money, as far as I know, TV revenue in 2024. Of course, they're going to have TV revenue, but it's not going to be $60 million, we don't think.
No.
And then the last significant thing he talked about is that they're going to try to, curtail team fabricating. Right? These phantom stints to the IL. Billy Epler was investigated for this. Something they're going to try to curtail in Major League Baseball moving forward. There's your highlight from Rob Manfred's press conference.
IL stints.
And the Nike jerseys suck. Right.
Like the only I saw some up in the team store at
Oh, they have them there now? Oh, I didn't know they had new ones there now.
Um, so it's basically like the nameplate on the there's no nameplate on the back. Everything is like ironed on. It the best way I could describe it, other than the DH gate jersey, because some people
Mhm.
might not know what that is.
Mhm.
It looks like a giveaway jersey, like
But they're charging how much are they?
$170.
So 170 for the replica and then more for the authentic, right?
Well, maybe the authentic's $180.
Oh, that would be a big win because aren't they normally more than that?
I could be wrong,
Yeah.
actually.
But
Maybe they're more.
I'm
Maybe,
with you. I mean, you look at
Here, let's look.
Yeah, the size of the nameplate. I mean, you have
It's not
to
even a
you have to
nameplate.
see them.
It's like ironed on.
Yeah.
It's super tiny, and the
Yeah.
material is thinner. And you do get the Padres patch logo on your sleeve,
Mhm.
but it's like ironed on. It's like really weird. I don't know. All I've seen is people say that it looks like crap and it sucks.
I see it here now. The future is here. The replica, Jim, the men's replica, I think, is $174.99.
Oh my god! So they're
Right?
more. They're more. And then the elite jersey, which is the one they wear on the field,
How much is that?
with no name on the back, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
$354.
Which again is what it's been the last few years. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm sure Nike thought about it. I'm sure baseball thought about it, but it does just look off.
Well, I'm reading right now that they're the same jerseys that they used in the All-Star game last year.
Oh, weren't those criticized, Brent?
Because, well, I'm reading right now because Nolan Arenado said the Nike Vapor Premier jersey is soft, light, and comfortable. It's almost like wearing my favorite shirt out on the field. So easy to move around in.
Right.
But then his teammate, Miles Michaelis, said the jerseys look cheap in the clubhouse and at spring training. And he also felt like the Nike Vapor Premier chassis, which will be part of every uniform, didn't fit right. And the pants are no longer as customizable, I guess.
But
Whatever
other than that,
means. How was the play?
it'll be interesting. Will they make a change? I don't know.
Well, if enough players complain, they will.
Yeah.
They have to.
My advice for everyone out there, if you want to go right now to padresshop.com, you can buy the old Nike alternate replica Manny Machado jersey
For how much?
$134.
Okay.
The brand new jerseys are $175. So
So you're saying get the old ones
you
first.
might want to get the old ones.
All right.
Yeah.
On the other side, we've got another pair of Aztec tickets for tomorrow night to give away. We're going to do that coming up next. Do not go anywhere. Plus, Jim's back page is ahead. The latest from Peoria will get you ready for tomorrow night as well. We have 2 free tickets to give away for tomorrow night. We'll do it next. On the other side, 2 free tickets were given away for tomorrow night at Viejas Arena, San Diego State and New Mexico. The latest from Peoria, plus we'll get you ready for that game next.
This update's brought to you by Staples Stores. Aztecs, big game tomorrow night as they take on New Mexico at Viejas Arena. It's a blackout, so if you're going, make sure to wear all black. 7 p.m. tip-off. 6 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. Rob Manfred, he's out as commissioner of baseball after the 2029 season. He announced that today. And tonight, half hour from now, it's the Brian Dutcher Coaches Show with John and Dutch from 6 to 7 right here on San Diego Sports 760. Now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs, desk chairs, computer chairs, even gaming chairs in store only. Offer ends 3/2. See associates for details. Stop by Staples today and grab a seat.
All right, if you were Brian Dutcher show tonight, Jim, what would be your big question? Head coach of the Aztecs at 6 p.m., getting ready for New Mexico, coming off that thrilling second half against Colorado State. What would be your big question for Coach Dutcher tonight?
The hell happened in that first half?
Okay, that's what you want to know about. Not the 41-11 second half.
Are you our mystery texter?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
No, is he? By the way, if you have a question for Brian Dutcher, you can text us right now. We'll get to him. 70470. Start it with the word team. 70470. Start it with the word team, or tag me on X, Twitter at Jon Schaefer, JONSCHAEFFER. We're going to give away Aztec tickets. Be patient here. We'll do it in a couple of minutes. I'll let you know when to call. We have 2 free tickets for tomorrow night. Kevin Acey has written an article. It's basically his job. It's like us doing a show. He does
Kevin
it every
Acey's
day.
done his job.
Here's the headline.
Like this was just
came out.
Okay,
This afternoon.
He always likes to do that. And
I think it's based on his reporting, like from the morning.
No, I know. I'm saying, like, whenever he releases articles, it always is during our show, and I thank you for it.
It
Kevin.
is, especially spring training.
Yeah.
He says Padres know what they have to be this season in order to rise from the ashes of quote unquote devastating 2023. One thing he writes in here, and I suggest you check it out in the UT, is that they had the second best odds in baseball heading into last year to make the postseason. Like, you kind of forget, you don't forget, But
Yeah,
that's where they
no.
were heading into the year. Off the NLCS, second best odds in baseball to make the postseason. And we know the rest. I mean, they didn't make the postseason. Spoiler alert, Jim, if you haven't watched the whole season play out. Here are the
What?
keys for them to make the play, like to be better.
Oh, yes,
okay?
I would love to hear this.
Here are the headlines.
Yes, give me it.
This isn't the whole article. I mean, he has like paragraphs
Reasonings
there.
behind it all.
But be healthy,
Okay.
be better.
Oh, okay.
By the way, Kevin will join us tomorrow.
Okay.
So will Bob Scanlon. Be together.
Okay.
They also need to be intentional.
Yeah.
They also need to be relaxed. And they also, lastly, need to be hungry.
I would say of all of those, the most important one is together.
Not healthy.
Well, I mean, healthy is always the number one answer for every team in every sport. You can't be, if you're not healthy, you're not going to win. It's just
True.
So the togetherness to me is what they need to work on the most.
together.
Because last year's team, that wasn't it. I mean, they openly said that they quit. I think Juan Soto regrets saying those things to the media after the series in Seattle. But that was just a telling sign that team last year was, no matter how close they got, that was just a fake run at the end of the year. That team was not good.
Interesting line in this article. Okay, this is from Kevin today. No one in uniform is blaming Melvin. This is under the Be Together section.
Yeah.
But there was a quiet acknowledgement that having the air cleared of tension and toxicity won't hurt, and that an increased flow of communication will help.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
It was what I think. I like Bob Melvin. You like Bob Melvin. He's a really good manager. But one of the issues with last year's team was the growing tension between Melvin and Brewer. And everybody knew it and everybody saw it. It was blatant. There were the times last year when Bob would not play Matt Carpenter because he might stare down with AJ. That is something that everyone saw. So I don't think anyone's saying he's a bad manager, but what I do think people are saying, which I agree with, is it just wasn't going to work because Bob and AJ did not get along. Whose fault that is? Both of them. It's both of their faults. And I personally thought it was a reason why that AJ probably shouldn't have returned. But we are here, and Mike Schultz, man, he really wanted the job. So I don't expect any tension this year, at least.
When he writes about being relaxed, you kind of forget about this. You put a lot of it somewhere in your mind that you won't forget. I mean, not only were they terrible in one-run games and extra inning games, don't remember that. Remember how they started with position? They were awful. Like as a team, horrible. Like just as bad as it gets. They ranked last in the majors into late June with runners in scoring position. Last with superstars. Horrible. Last.
Is that Bob's fault? Is that
Exactly.
because there was tension between Bob and AJ?
Or is it the tightness, expectations?
Well,
got to come through.
That's another thing that he put in there.
Yeah, that's the be relaxed.
Be relaxed, because if they're relaxed, instead of putting so much freaking pressure on themselves, potentially that was a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe instead of being dead last, if you're just middle of the pack, then this team is completely. If this team was middle of the pack as far as runners in scoring position go last year, dude, they would have won like 90 games.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It would have been so much better.
Yeah.
Instead of being like dead last.
By the way, developing story out of women's college hoops. Maybe the most famous college basketball player in the nation is Caitlin Clark at Iowa.
Yeah.
She has become the all-time leading scorer in women's basketball history. And IQ, she does it with a 40-footer.
It's pretty
from the
badass.
logo
Pretty badass.
against, I want to say, the University of Michigan tonight at home in Iowa.
She knew that she was pulling up. Came down and no hesitation, launched from 40, launched on the logo. Nothing but that.
I looked at her stats yesterday. She scored 27 points per game as a true freshman at the University of Iowa, and she's only gotten better. 27 points per game for 3 years. 30. Listen to this, Jim. College basketball, 32, 8.3 assists, 7 rebounds.
Is that good?
It's like, I mean, that's kind of like LeBron, what he does, right? You score your 30 points in your prime, you dish out 8 assists, you grab 8, 9 rebounds. Like, that's craziness.
No.
That's crazy.
Congratulations to her. That's amazing.
She's not listening, but she might listen to the podcast later, but she's playing right now.
It's like, I want to know what Jon and Jim had to say about this.
I mean, of course she would hit a 40-foot shot to set the all-time women's mark for career scoring.
Of course.
I don't know how many
That's the
points
only
it
way
is,
to
but
do
it's-
it. You can't do it at the free throw line. You can't do it with the weak layup. You gotta pull it from like half court. Almost.
Do you agree she's the most well-recognized basketball player, men or women?
Caitlin Clark?
Yeah.
Men or women?
Yeah.
In college?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not professionally,
Yeah.
obviously. But college.
Yeah. I mean,
You know what I mean? Like, who
obviously locally,
screams-
Jaden Ledee, but
No, but like nationally.
nationally, yeah.
Like, who screams the most recognizable college basketball player? It's right. I can't really think of anyone that really fully resonates. There's some amazing players, but not like Caitlin Clark, I wouldn't say.
No, and the reason why is because you get in women's college basketball, Caitlin Clark playing, 3-4 years.
Yes, 4. This is her 4th year. Yep.
In men's college basketball, you're lucky to get 2 out of a top guy.
And a lot of movement.
A lot of movement,
Yep.
transfer portal, everything. Caitlin Clark's been at Iowa for the last 4 years.
Yeah. She's from Des Moines. Yep.
So you mentioned LeBron there.
Yeah.
Just as just the name, like,
Yeah.
that is going to be the only, I think, thing about his career that kind of sucks is that we never got to see him in college.
I know. It's like Kobe,
Yeah.
It's the big what if. Like, what would Kobe have done? What would LeBron have done?
Where would LeBron have gone? Would he have gone
Ohio
to
State, I assume.
and Kobe would have gone to Duke? Where would
I
Kobe
mean,
have
I
gone?
was at the press conference, literally.
I know you were.
At Lower Marion High
You
School.
played dodgeball with Kobe.
He's wearing a brown. You've seen this tan suit. I'm like looking in my mind right now at it. And I remember, I forget who I was sitting next to. I think my buddy Andrew Wilmot. And I'm like, this guy's not going pro. Like, are you kidding me? Out of the suburban Philly. Anyway, he went pro. But it was down to Duke, North Carolina, and LaSalle. And you say LaSalle in Philadelphia because his father, Joe Jellybean, was coaching at LaSalle. So I honestly think it may have been LaSalle.
Wow.
But, I mean, and what would they have been? I mean, would they have won a national championship? I don't know if it's as simple as that. They would have been good, and he would have been really good. And LeBron at Ohio State would have been.
Was he going to
cool
go to Ohio State, LeBron?
I think so. He's such a big supporter. I would assume, but I'm not sure.
Man, those are the only
that'd be cool.
things you wish you could see.
Yeah, I agree. All right, call right now. Caller 7. You've got 2 free tickets to tomorrow night blackout Viejas Arena, San Diego State, New Mexico. 877-767-4760. 877-767-4760. Caller 7, you're going tomorrow night. What a game it's going to be. 7 p.m. San Diego State and New Mexico. Jim's back page next. All right, Jim's back page plus the Brian Dutcher show coming up next. Dutcher is going to join us at 6 p.m. If you've got a question for the head coach of the Aztecs, get it in right now. I'd love to ask it on air. 70470. Start your message with the word team. Again, 70470. Start it with team. The Aztecs have a big one tomorrow night against New Mexico at Viejas Arena at 7. We'll have pregame coverage at 6. We'll be talking about it tomorrow, of course, on Jon and Jim at 3 p.m. Also tomorrow on Jon and Jim, Bob Scanlon will join us from Peoria on the broadcast for the Padres once again in 2024, and Kevin Acee will join us from spring training as well. What were we talking about?
Underdog.
Oh yeah, I think we were. Yes, you're trying to hit a big winner at Underdog tonight.
Yeah,
You're still going through it, right?
I kind of am because I want to hit big.
You want to hit big.
I want to go big, baby.
You want to go 5 for 5 on your pick'em.
I do.
Okay, if you're playing, we've got a partnership with Underdog. Use promo code Jon and Jim. They're going to double your first deposit up to $100. That is JONANDJIM. By the way, I just Googled Kobe Bryant and college, and he was quoted in podcasts well after his time at Lower Merion of saying his final two, he was down to Duke and Carolina, but Carolina kind of stopped recruiting when they got a feeling that he was heading pro, but Coach K kept recruiting him. So it could in the end have been Duke over Carolina for Kobe if he did, in fact, go to college. All right, right now, let's get to this.
All right, we will start. Let me pull this up here with an auction item here from Star Wars movie. All right. The screen matched C-3PO Return of the Jedi head with
Tall one or short one?
Short one.
Short.
The gold man.
The gold
No.
man. C-3PO.
Oh, you said, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the gold man.
Yes,
Gold
the tall,
circle.
The tall gold one.
Yeah.
Yes.
With light up eyes. So from the movie, and everything is movie accurate. Went on auction. Guess how much?
Which movie was it from?
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi, 1983. Like long time ago.
$225K.
Okay.
$500,000.
Brent hit it on the head.
$500,000.
500,000. It started, the auction bid started at $500,000.
And that's what it went for?
And it's
going.
it's still happening, but the opening bid was $500,000.
Do we need a prequel to these people?
They already had
Already
one.
had.
They already
Do we
did.
need a post-school?
They already had.
Okay.
They're way ahead of you, John.
John's like, they should do a prequel to these movies. Like they
to these C-3PO guys?
Yeah, they're in it.
they're also going to do prequels to the prequels, and they're going to do sequels to the sequels.
Does anyone really need to know about where this like little gold circle was previously?
Well, they already know.
We already know.
He was built by
Anakin built
Anakin
him.
Skywalker. Spoiler alert.
Thanks.
Which they never really hit on besides after episode 1, which is kind of
They
interesting.
didn't really have to hit on it.
True, but it's
self-explanatory.
it's a cool little thing there. Like
Okay.
Anakin Skywalker built C-3PO.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go. A pair of Winston Churchill's false teeth sold at an English
It's
auction
gotta be a ton of money.
for guess how much?
I mean, who wants those? But obviously iconic.
Well, it's
in
British people
British
and
history,
teeth,
yeah.
so
$1 million.
Okay.
200,000.
You're a little off. You're a little
How
off.
much?
$29,520.
Oh, nobody wants them.
Why would anybody want
spent
false
30K?
teeth?
Yeah.
It makes no
It
sense.
doesn't make any sense.
No
People
sense.
just want a part of history.
They choose.
Historical-
Winston Churchill's fake
Dentures,
teeth over here.
Yeah.
I'd much rather have C-3PO's head from Return of the
Well, that's why it's
Jedi
more
with
expensive.
light up eyes than someone's dentures.
That's why it's more expensive.
And finally, John,
Mm.
the San Diego Padres announced today the celebrity softball game
Yes.
participants. We haven't even talked about.
I know.
this. Here are the
Must have lost their
participants
email.
that were announced.
Mm-hmm.
Abby Dahlkemper from
The wave.
The Wave, along with Drew Brees, Carrie Walsh Jennings,
Got some big names here.
That's the volleyball player, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
I remember
Olympian.
her, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Gold medal
yeah,
winner?
yeah.
yeah, she is with the
Head coach of
Mojo.
the team here in
She-
San Diego.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rashid Shaheed,
Don't know who that is.
Okay.
Dominic Cruz,
Don't know
FaZe
who that-
Rugg,
Don't know who that is.
Okay.
Dave McCary,
No.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Machado.
Yeah.
I assume he's related to Manny.
No, surfer, right?
Oh, okay.
Landon Donovan,
Okay, I know who he is.
Yeah.
Sheanne Marie.
No clue.
Okay.
We know Alex Morgan.
Yeah.
Yes.
We know Andre Reed,
We do.
Yeah.
Kelsey Plum,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Olave, the wide receiver for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Saints, Brandon Moreno,
Okay.
No.
Seth and Saylor.
Seth and Sailor.
I don't know those
I don't know who
people.
that is either.
Kyle Mooney,
He used to be on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Knox,
No clue.
Miles Doty,
Okay.
Miles Doty, Rey Mysterio,
I know who he is.
All right. Wrestler, right?
Yeah.
and Sean Lewis.
Sean Lewis, Aztecs head coach.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I think that's for
pretty
a
good.
local baseball team celebrity softball game. That to me is pretty good.
to have every single one of these participants tie in locally. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty
they
cool.
all have a local feel and
Mhm.
vibe. Like,
Missing locally. I mean, don't be scared. To get, don't be scared to get like Lamont Butler in there.
yeah, but he might also be like basketball.
Oh yeah. Wait, when is it?
Oh wait, he might not.
Oh,
he
he
might.
coach. You're right. It's
Yeah.
in March.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Easily the biggest name on the list is Alex Morgan.
Oh, massive. Yeah.
Not even close.
But Drew Brees is a pretty big name.
Yeah, Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Like people know Drew Brees, but
know him.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, for me,
All-time leading passer in history league. Day,
the
right?
most famous people would be Alex Morgan, Drew Brees, Rey Mysterio, and
That's it.
those are the three biggest.
Yeah,
names.
those are big.
Three biggest things.
Thanks for the invite. All right. Brian
There's
Dutcher
the mail.
Show.
There's the
is
mail.
on the other side. I'd go over 7. If you got questions, Brian Dutcher 70470 started with team. That's next. Okay.